Ladies and gentlemen, I got some exciting news. I don't want to build up too much, but got a promo code. We got Full Scale Outdoors, got its first promo code. What do you think about that? So it was out at the Minnesota Game Fair at the Premier Flight Outfitters booth, hanging with Dean. That's who I guide snow goose hunting for, and also sharing a tent with Molt Gear and Scott there. And tons of traffic coming through there, listening to goose calling all day, every day. But the stage over there, like where they're giving the seminars and stuff and talks, was like right there too. So that was cool. Lots of people coming and going. Game fair, always fun. Got to listen to some calling contests. Joe Heinz was the big winner there. I think he took first place. I think he took first place in doubles too, if I'm not mistaken. So he kind of cleaned up at the old game fair there. But onto this promo code. So just down from where we were at, there's a booth there, another combined booth. It was BB Waterfowl and Jim Shoe Decoys. So I'd kind of seen some ads for Jim Shoe Decoys and just kind of swung in there and talked to them a little bit, and they seemed super cool. I'm like, oh, this is an obvious invite for the podcast. They seem like pretty cool. So they were game. We just met at the Boondocks bar up in Ramsey. Or actually, what would that be? That's not Ramsey. It's next town north of Ramsey. Whatever. Anyways, we went to a bar. That's what I'm getting at. So there's some background noise in this episode. Not that you haven't heard me do them at bars before, but just giving you fair warning. However, things went so well that both BB Waterfowl and Jim Shoe Decoys made a promo code. So if you're listening to this episode and you want to go check out BB Waterfowl, now they had what they had at the stand. We're going to get into it. So BB Waterfowl have these stakes, if you will, that make it so that you can use your floater decoys, duck and goose decoys, and convert them to field decoys. It's just they're two plastic feet with metal stakes in them. They stake them into the ground. There's a little slot. The weight slides into them. Dude, slick as goose shit in the rain, I'm telling you. So that's one of the things they got going on at BB Waterfowl. And if you're at the Game Fair, you probably saw them. But go check them out. Look at their website. If you want to order anything, at checkout, use promo code FULLSCALE, and you're going to get 10% off. Also, now for Jim Shoe Decoys. Now, they have super lightweight, collapsible, durable decoys. They have honker decoys and snow decoys. They are running the same thing. So they, again, if you want to order some decoys on there, and they're super affordable as far as, like, they look pretty good. And so instead of spending, what the avians are like over $300 for fully flocked 6 of them, you can get a whole dozen for like half that price. They're very lightweight, so if you do any kind of pack in kind of stuff like that, they're going to be perfect for that. So go check out Jim Shoe Decoys, and at checkout, throw in that promo code FULLSCALE, and boom, you're saving money. So with that, let's get to it. This is the Full Scale Outdoors podcast. I'm Dale Luganbill, your host, and this is the boys from BB Waterfowl and Jim Shoe Decoys.
Oh, here we go, boys.
Go.
Ooh, I love that sound. This is a good one.
Oh, thank you, my love.
Love. It's a little early in the relationship for that, isn't it?
Well,
Love everybody.
Love. That's a good answer. Good answer.
I mean, I think
Jesus would
I
want me to say.
yeah, I think strippers like me too, so it's fine.
They do. They do like you. They like you
Yeah.
for a very specific reason. And it's not your ass, but it is something very close to it.
Right.
Yeah. That ain't what's in the front of your
It's
pants.
that thing in the leather pouch.
That's the thing I
Love
love
that.
Bill and I will argue about going to a strip club, because when we head down to North Carolina, there's one literally right off the highway. It's called Southern Exposure. And every time I tell him, I said, we're going to Southern Exposure. He goes, would you go to a buffet just to smell the food? Like, we're not going to go there. We're not going to spend our
got
money.
a point.
Depending on which one you go to, it does smell like a buffet.
He's got.
Well, there's a couple.
He's got a point.
There's a couple in Nashville that they actually have a buffet. And we had
I've never.
Terry-
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Not
never
a
been a
chance.
huge fan of strip clubs just for that very reason. It's like, so I'm paying good money to get blue balled. Is that what's going on
Yeah.
here? I'm leaving this building broke and sexually frustrated. This
And
is a
it's-
terrible business transaction.
the same exact thing happens when I go home. I pay all the bills and go to bed sexually
Here
frustrated.
you go, dear. Here's my paycheck, and I'm going to
So
bed.
funny story there.
Full ball.
In Zanesville, where we're from, there's a strip club, and it's a trash strip club, but it's just you get
That's
nasty,
Muskingum County.
dirty. Anyway, it was always our thing. It was on my way home from the bar, so we would go out to the bars, and that's where we would stop. Well, I took my wife there when her and I were first dating. We're both trying to impress each other, and she says, "Well, are you going to the Foxhole?" And I was, yeah. Do you want to go? Yeah, let's go. We open up the front door, walk in, met with topless hostess, and she goes, "Oh, hey Brandon, that's not the girl you brought with you last time."
Oh, no.
My
Shitsville.
wife ran right up to the front of the stage, and she sat there, and these girls were up there dancing their freaking dollars, like dancing their life away, and she was like, "You get $1." And I was like, I was, "Oh, okay, we need to go because I don't feel like getting stabbed tonight."
Wow.
You get $1. Well, I know all these strippers by name, so
What?
that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So new people to the Full Scale Outdoors podcast. No, we seriously were talking about hunting right before I pressed record. I swear to God, we were talking about duck hunting, and this is just where it went, and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah.
It's
Beautiful.
Yes, we were talking about buffalo heads and your golden eyes and
And golden
everything,
eyes. Golden eyes that don't land with anything.
Golden
but
eyes are racist,
and
They're
that's we have
racist
come to it.
They're probably Republicans.
and they're tough. They're just tough. They might be.
You can hit them a solid shot that's going to drop a mallard at 40 yards in the air, and you hit these things and they hit the water and they're gone.
We hamburgered one though. Was it last year? I think it was last year. This lone drake came in. It was late season for here in Minnesota, and he fucked up because he gave us two chances. Came in, he buzzed the tower, and then he came around, and we just watched him the whole time. He was like, "Oh, he's coming around again," and like right down the line, like
Just smoked him.
everybody. I don't think anybody actually called the shot. Where everybody's just like,
I got him. I
he's
shot
tough,
that bird.
but he wasn't that tough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The river I
He
hunt back
wasn't
home.
4 guns tough or 5 or whatever we had that day.
The river I hunt back home comes out of Columbus, and you can put in right at city limits, and you can float for. Do you know where Circleville is?
Oh,
I
yeah.
float from Columbus to Circleville if I do a float hunt. I mean, it's a
that's
3-hour float.
That's a 20-mile float on the Scioto.
Oh yeah. So we put in, we're floating, we come around this bend, and it's just from side to side for 10 yards deep. It's all bufflehead, and it's me, my brother, and my best friend. And they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And I was like, "Well, we can float into them, but we're not gonna get very close." I said, "Let's park the boat on the side, and we'll try to sneak around and get a shot on them." Neither one of them wanted to do that because they're lazy and it's cold. So we take the boat to the curve, and we ended up getting like 40 yards from
You can sneak buffies pretty easy.
Yeah.
They're not that wary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, we get like 40 yards from it. And there's like 40 of them, I'm like, he's like, well, how many can we shoot? I was like, we 6 of them because we don't have a limit on buffalo. We all 3 fire. 9 shots. And I'm like, how many did we get? Not one of them fell out of the air.
Oh, man.
Not one of them.
They dive and then they're going down the river and
Oh, man.
What's crazy is how fast they can dive. By the
Yeah.
time
Oh,
your
yeah.
gun goes off and the
Yeah.
BBs get to them, they're
Are you
underwater.
sure they weren't grebes?
Oh, no, they weren't.
Grebes do that. I mean, I've heard.
yeah, not that I've
There
ever
was
seen.
a young lad, sort of looks like me, many years ago, attempted to shoot those, and they're impossible. You can't.
If the wildlife officer's listening, I don't know the
Literally-
guy.
Yeah, I don't know
I
the
read
guy.
it read it in a book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
this one guy this one time told me.
allegedly, the way he told the story, when you shoot at them, they dive, and then you see your pellets hit.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, just shooting ducks on the water in a river. I mean, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
So,
I
here's the question though: is it unethical to shoot ducks on the water?
Absolutely
to water swat
not.
them?
If I'm good enough to put them on the water, I'm good enough to shoot them there.
I don't think it's unethical. I personally don't like it because so many times I've tried to pond swat a duck, unless it's really close, you end up just chasing that thing, and it takes 8 more shells to finally get that bird in
I
hand
agree.
because all their vitals are underwater. Unless
Right.
you get that perfect brain shot, which
You catch
just
that
rarely ever
that
happens.
golden pellet.
Yeah,
I'll
just
tell
rarely
you.
ever happens. So you just end up chasing down, and then while you're chasing it, birds are working spreads.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like doing it. I will do it.
Right.
And
Right.
sometimes they take you by surprise. You're sitting there, all of a sudden, you're like, oh crap! There's
Right.
birds in the decoys.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's some old timers.
I guess you could jump
there's some
up.
old timers that really get mad.
Yeah.
You're like,
Stand
well,
up. Stand up. Scare that bird off. Shoot
Yell
it in
at
the
him,
air.
do something,
Yeah.
yeah.
Throw a rock.
But it's okay. You can't shoot them on the water, but it's okay to shoot them the second they start flapping their wings.
Yes,
I-
they can be 1 inch off the water.
And most of the time, the one guy that I hunted with, he doesn't like shoot them on the water either. He yells and shoots before they start flapping their wings.
yeah. So here's
It's
mine.
a warning. Give him a
What's,
warning.
what's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
difference
yeah.
between, say, water swatting a goose and shooting a turkey?
Perfect analogy. I've brought this up in the past. It's the same thing. And even if you just stick to upland waterfowl or upland birds,
Yeah.
So turkeys, it's actually frowned upon to shoot them on the wing.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to call them in close, head shoot them, flopping around.
Yeah. They're.
But if you go out and you ground pound grouse,
Oh yeah.
you're shunned by the
terrible.
wing shooters.
Yeah.
Like, right.
Can
Have
you
you
guys make up your mind?
Shoot a pheasant that's running away, and they'll exile you.
It's like what?
Yeah.
But
The
if you-
fact that
if you
especially
don't
game
shoot it-
farm chickens where you gotta like kick them to
Right.
get them to actually fly.
Oh yeah.
Why don't
yeah.
you just reach down and grab it?
Yeah, right,
It's
just
right
ring
there.
it. Just ring it real
Just grab
fast
it.
and call it a day.
I mean,
Yeah.
Use the finisher by a
Yeah.
drill line.
there you go.
Throw the finisher in there and call it a day.
Yeah. Its finishers are pretty slick.
They are.
They are.
They're
And the
very
guy who
much
owns the company is awesome.
Yeah.
We've become pretty good friends with him.
Cool.
So I actually bought into the Boss shot shell thing last year, and I'll tell you, for shooting ducks on the water, they're good at that. I mean,
Yeah.
they are good at that. I will give them that.
Yeah,
They're.
it's
I had a lot of problems out past 30 yards, but inside 30 yards,
yeah. If they're close enough, they're gonna.
Oh, it
You're
just
getting that
annihilates
magic
them.
pellet because
Right.
you just got more pellets on target and your pattern's
Right.
tighter. But
Right.
yeah, once they, like you said, 30 yards to get out there, it's a foot race.
and that-
you're
we-
gonna
we-
cripple them. They're gonna dive, and you're gonna. It's just. A
oh, and the
pain
way
in
we
ass.
hunt, I mean, the spot on the river we hunt on the bank, and then you got to get to the boat, get in the boat, chase the duck.
Yeah, it's a pain in the
And
ass.
believe it or not,
It's
they swim
almost
pretty
not-
fast.
They swim real fast. It's almost not worth it. But as we're talking about companies, it's a good time to segue into introducing a
Oh,
gentleman. We'll
perfect.
go in counterclockwise for me.
Okay. My name is Brandon Rexford. I am co-owner and founder of BB Waterfowl. We make decoy conversion stands. Take your current floating decoys, you slap them on our stands, you have a full-body decoy. That way you save your hunters, you save money, you save time, you save space. You can use your same decoys you have just sitting 7 bags in your garage. You can throw them up in a field, sandbar, riverbank, wherever you want, and just really makes them amphibious, water
pretty
or
slick.
land.
They look pretty slick.
Yeah,
Let's
and
check them out at the
they
game
work
fair.
great. I mean, everybody I talk to that has them, I personally don't use duck decoys, but everybody I talk to that has them love them.
Oh, and I mean they're practically indestructible. You know, the metal is a cold drawn steel or hard drawn steel, and the feet are made out of the same thing Legos are made out of. So you can beat them up, stomp them in the ground, do whatever you want with them. But you know, we kind of geared towards, and the way we started was we're from Ohio, and about 3 years ago we were hunting out and. Everything froze up on us. All of our water spots froze up on us, and we had 7 bags of floating decoys sitting in the garage. We had no full bodies, so we stayed up one night just drinking beer and started bending wire from the local Lowe's, and we hunted over them. Our buddies saw them; they wanted some, so we made them some. They told their buddies, and then you're like, kind of have a
we got a
thing
thing
going
here.
here. And you know, there's a couple other companies out there that are similar, but not to the same quality that we have. And actually, I don't even know if they're still in business because they haven't updated their website since like 2013.
Oh, jeez.
So we, we started selling them. We went through the whole patent process, and should have just went out and bought, those gym shoe decoys or something. But after you throw the patents and everything in there, it would have been a lot cheaper. But we're now to the point that we're big enough that the company is pretty much self-sufficient.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on
So
that.
it's crazy how that kind of stuff happened. Mojo
Continue.
happened the same way.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So I read the story on Mojo last year. Guy just happened to stumble upon an idea. He said, these ducks, they don't see any motion. Our ducks are just standing there. He said, what if we added something like a spinning wing in it? And some couple guys came out and they said, put that thing away. We ain't hunting with that. He said they hunted over it one time and out of nowhere.
Commit suicide.
You're right. You're right.
They call kamikaze in and they hit that pole and they're done. You don't even have to shoot them. They just hit the Mojo pole.
Knock themselves out.
Saves on ammo. Now they just need to put a little fillet knife on the top so that they breast themselves out as
You're
they
right.
fly in.
Perfect.
Bird hitch mixed with a hybrid bird hitch.
Those
with
bird
the,
hitches
Mojo.
those are
Mojo.
nice.
And they'll come across that knife, fall right in the bucket that cleans them.
Yeah, just Ziploc right there.
You Ziploc out of the bucket in
Shoots
the
out.
Ziploc bag.
Oh, man.
You don't even have to go out. You just put your decoys out and go home.
Little slide.
Come back and
goes
check the trap.
right to the blind.
Yeah.
Perfect. We got this figured out, boys.
Yeah,
oh, man.
We got something going here. Another company starting today.
It might have something to do with the grain belts you're drinking.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know.
Yeah,
This
right.
Coke's killed
Oh
me
yeah,
here.
yeah. We have two
So,
consumers of alcohol. At the
While
table.
we're on the topic of Mojo, does anybody have you used the Flocka flickers? So
Oh, I haven't yet.
I don't
no,
like
it's
'em.
just a single wing.
yeah, it's just a single
I
wing and
don't-
it sits perpendicular to the water and it's one of those.
They're
they-
deadly
they,
on pigeons.
They say that
They are deadly on pigeons. We use them for pigeons.
They say they're absolutely amazing. I've never used
See,
them.
now
I
we
couldn't.
used them wood duck season a couple years ago. Because I'm that guy when something new comes out, I'm like, I'm going to buy 20 of them.
try it.
This is the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Look at the TV. Look at the ads. I'm buying this thing.
Right.
So we
Saw
bought.
on the internet. It's got to be true.
We go out wood duck season, and I don't know if you guys have seen the video from Dude Perfect, the over decoy guys.
Oh yeah.
That was me.
Oh,
Dude, we
God.
go out. We put like 50 decoys out, and there's a bunch of flock of flickers in between them. And
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we were asking the same question. Do you think we have enough decoys? I mean, it was bad. But we obviously that day we were just over decoyed. It wasn't anything other than that. And then we went to we started using them in fields, and I had a tough time finishing ducks to them.
Yeah, that's they're good in theory because if you do have that drone footage of a whole bunch of ducks, then you do have that motion and everything like that. But
They do look great from a distance. I mean, it does
Right.
look like
From
a
over
bunch
top,
of
they do.
ducks. Yeah,
They
right.
They really
But
do.
my thing is, I mean, I don't know what the exact price is, but it's just one of those like you're going to spend $30 for this single wing. Why don't you just throw a couple Lucky Ducks in there? Or,
Yeah.
the Mojo King
Sure.
Elites or whatever.
Yeah.
I
It's like
just-
anything. There's no magic wand. There's no one thing
Right.
that does it.
Work
There's
for
gonna be
it.
some days that are great, and I mean, I swear to God, 90% of our hunts, I'm turning the wings off because
Mhm.
whatever the birds aren't decoying. So everybody's like,
Right.
I don't think they like the spinning wings.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll turn them off.
And then you're going to
Jesus
turn them off,
Christ.
and they're still going to spin,
and then
spin,
still,
and they're
yeah,
gone.
They still won't
And
decoy.
That was another problem we had with them. Geese, by us anyways, in Ohio, they get 200 yards within that spinning decoy, and it's still going. They're gone. And
That's the yes, please, more beer.
Yes, please.
Yes,
in those Flocka flickers, I mean, I use Lucky Duck. I went to Lucky Duck over Mojo. In my opinion, a much better product, much better built. But those Flocka flickers are on a timer. You click a button on
Yeah.
the bottom, and they
Yep.
have a random timer.
Yeah.
Well, you got geese locked up 30 yards above your decoys, and those things start going off.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
flare
you-
bigger
Well,
than
most
shit.
like the Mojo, you can get either
The
they have
remote.
them or you can get the kit for 'em,
Yeah,
with Lucky and Mojo or whatever brand they are. I mean, that's the way to do it.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
the only
well-
way to do it. You can keep hopping up out of your blind and shutting them stupid
Yeah,
things
and we
off.
used to put it right above our blind. You reach up, get your
Yep.
hand smacked by the wings, and
Yeah,
I always had
it's-
the bigger ones with the metal wings.
Yeah.
Hurts after a couple times. I mean, look at my finger.
His fingers all wrapped up. Well, we were going around this. So introduce yourself.
Corey Jeffers. I'm with Shoe Decoys. My official title is Pro Staff
So we
Manager.
have BB Waterfowl. Is that the parent head company?
No, so we are
it's
two separate
separate
companies.
Yes.
BB Waterfowl, which does the bases, that turns your water decoy into a field decoy, and we have Shoe Decoys.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we initially, we had met at Indiana, at the Indiana Deer, Turkey, and Waterfowl Expo, and we just hit it off like boom, like we're going to be best friends. This is something that we can, it can work together for us. So we affiliate with them. We throw them promo codes. If people, go to their website, they can use our promo code, and then kind of same thing. Otherwise, so and it's worked out well.
It is. And the crazy thing about it is Shoe Decoys is based out of Moni, Illinois, which is just south of Chicago. And I'm out of Ohio. We meet these guys in Indianapolis, and they're out of Ohio. So it was kind of cool.
Oh,
So
Corey,
you're
Corey
just-
and I
you're
live-
pimping out Shoe Decoys at
Yeah.
the game fair.
That's
So
what I'm
you're
doing.
not- okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Right on.
And
Yeah,
you know,
so-
Corey and I, we'd never met before or anything like that, but we live an
40
hour and a
minutes,
half.
Yeah, 45 minutes. I'm 45
That
minutes
ain't
from
bad.
Zanesville.
So
So we're
it's,
actually planning on hunting this early season together.
yeah.
Right on. Yeah, that's not bad at
I got a
all.
whole-
We hunt with shit, I'll drive an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes just
If
to
you wanna
hunt
drive
for a
12,
day
you
and
can
just
hunt
come
with
back.
I have a
See, I
couple really
assume
good
you're
goose fields.
how late does the season go down there?
It's February 7th this year.
Oh, perfect. All
Late
the way
season.
through January, I'm in.
Late
Yeah.
season, we've got the birds. You come
I'm
down
in.
you
I'm
come down
in.
for a week in January, and I
Because
promise you get us a
ours
good
ends
hunt.
in like late December, and then we're
Oh
done.
yeah, no, we
Yeah.
we stay until
Well, we're
February
damn near
7th.
Canada here in
Oh,
Minnesota.
you're right.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
They call it Little Canada.
Yeah, well,
Kinda
there is a
got-
town actually in this state called Little Canada.
You guys
Oh.
even kind of got the
I'm
accent.
not dying.
You,
I'm not,
you
I'm
do,
not kidding.
you do.
You guys
have-
walk-
Oh, we got the long
Hey,
old boat.
welcome to
Official
Minnesota,
boat.
eh?
You betcha.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I
you
got off a
betcha.
plane my first time here when I went to the Wisconsin show, and I'm walking off the plane, and he's like, "Oh, welcome to Minnesota, eh?" And I'm
Yeah,
like,
what-
"Is that a question?"
A friend of mine's dad, they moved up here from like El Paso, and the way we say bag, most people say beg.
Bag.
Like you're begging for, he's
Yeah.
like, and so he's at the grocery store, gets all the stuff, and they're like, "You want to beg for that?" And he's like, "I'll pay for it like everybody else."
I didn't know what you were saying there, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Once you
Bag.
used it, once you said that in a
Bag.
sentence,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. Would you like a bag?
So-
That's so much more work to say bag.
Bag?
Because I can say beg really fast, but bag.
Yeah, I guess
I don't beg for much in life.
It's all work.
No.
No, I'm not a beggar.
Not a beggar.
No, I used to work at Kroger, and I was a bagger, but I'm not a beggar.
Yeah, not a beggar. I'm a bagger. Absolutely. So the guy doesn't want to talk. You're still going to have to introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Craig Altoff. I'm from Jim Shoe Decoys. I live in Illinois. I'm good friends with the guys that started
Poor
the company.
fella.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm from Illinois.
Well, so you're gonna have to be the mouthpiece for Jim Shoes Decoys. You're gonna have the backstory for it.
Yeah. Give
yeah,
us.
I don't know if I'm authorized on all that.
Oh.
Make some shit up. Whatever. Don't matter.
No,
Well-
we just got.
As long as there's strippers involved,
Right.
we get to keep
Yes.
the audience entertained.
So our decoys are all EVA, plastic, collapsible, super lightweight. You can deploy them super fast. We just got sick of paying huge money for full bodies and having to buy trailers, and you can't hunt when the field's muddy because the farmer doesn't want you out there. And these you can throw 5-6 dozen in a big grain bag and walk out with them on your back, and you're hunting.
They are pretty
fast.
light. I was playing
They
them
are.
at the game fair there. You had that big grain bag full of them, and I could one arm them things pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I'm pretty swole, but
Oh, I mean,
it's
look,
Huge.
clearly
I mean,
you work out every day.
massive.
Us
Yeah.
construction workers, we're swole.
Well, you know that's right.
Iron worker, man. He's
Throwing
Lo-
rebar around
yeah,
all day.
just throwing that
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
he's-
Shit's not light, bro.
He's a little more swole than I am. I'm just a carpenter.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
well.
See, well, I'm a nurse.
gonna
so,
try to-
I mean, it's
I was going
like,
to try
I'm-
to defend you, but you
Come
said
on,
carpenter,
man.
so I
Yeah.
Come
can't
on.
really. Well, at least you're not a laborer.
You're
I
right.
mean, that would- I
You're
mean,
right.
that's
I hire
something.
laborers.
Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly.
No laborers here. I don't unload material.
Broom
Absolutely not.
motors.
See, I can't say anything. One of my first jobs was I worked at a construction yard, and I was the guy that ran the ladder for your shingles.
Oh, okay.
So I was the guy that handled every bundle of shingles and threw it on the ladder.
That's why he's so swole.
That's
Yeah.
it's
Well, I
massive.
mean, it's mostly steroids, but I mean,
He's got easy access to him. He's a nurse.
Right, yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
His ass is like a pincushion.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, but with Jim Shoe Decoys, they're extremely light. And the way I got introduced to the company, I had saw a video about them, and I was like every other probably most of your listeners, they are using Bigfoots and avians and greenhead gear. I mean, that's what everyone's using.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sick of, for instance, I had the first generation Bigfoots, a body, a leg, and a foot. It takes forever to put them together.
Yeah.
You can't. So a lot of my buddies were screwing theirs together.
Right, yep, that's what people were doing. They're
Yeah.
modding
Yeah.
them to make them one piece.
But then
Yep.
it's a space thing.
Right.
So we had a trailer. We had a 16-foot trailer stacked with decoys from the floor to the top. Couldn't even get your layout blinds in there. What if you want to take your quad, whole different trailer, whole nother truck? And I was just sick of it, When we're hardcore. I mean, we hunt every single day of the season. Like, I work all summer, take the whole winter off, and we'll find birds to hunt. If we don't have any birds to hunt, we'll just go sit on the river and pray to God something flies by. And
Like your
So
style.
Yeah.
it was probably 2-3 years ago I saw the first video of these gym shoes, and at the time they had only their motion decoy, and the motion decoy that we have, it's phenomenal. It's not for me. It's a foam decoy. It has too much movement in my opinion, but I saw him and I was like, man, check that out. The guy in the video, Jason, takes it off the stake, rolls it up like a tube sock, and he puts 30 of them in a grocery bag. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Wait.
So maybe I do like these motion decoys. So I saw that video. Time went, I remembered the video. And then fast forward 2 years down the road, here's another video about them. Well, now they have these EVA decoys on a solid stake. Stake's removable. And I see a video of this guy carrying out 60 decoys in one bag, no problem. And he's not a very big guy. He's like 5'2". I don't know how tall he is. Just a little guy.
Electrician, probably.
He's a roofer. He owns a roofing company.
The owner doesn't do shit.
No, he just sells the jobs, talks to the insurance companies. Throws the bag up over his shoulder, and he just starts walking. And I'm like, man, there's something to this. Well, I'm also, hate to admit it, but I'm a millennial. So what do I say? I call him up. Hey, I'd like to be on your pro staff and get some decoys for free.
That's how that works.
I'll tell you, this was our first conversation. I said, what kind of deal can you cut me? He said, if you ain't interested in buying 10 dozen, don't call back. Click. Oh, boy.
Well, is
So,
the right answer.
I texted him, and I said, listen, bud, I really want it. I'll buy 10 dozen. Don't care. Money doesn't matter to me on this because this is going to save me so much time. I said, I'll buy 10 dozen. So I buy the 10 dozen. He's like, well, this is my brother Jason's number. Give him a call. And back and forth between Jimmy and Jason. Back and forth. Nobody would answer the phone. I'm like, well, you know what? I bought 10 dozen. I want another 10 dozen. So we're going to have to work something out. Somebody's going to answer the phone here because these things are amazing. We hunted with them probably 5 or 6 times. Showed all my buddies. They fell in love with them. And at that point, I'm like, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get involved with this because this is going to be huge. So they ended up answering the phone, and I talked with him, and I told him, this is what I want to do. At the time, I was part of another group, and then I was also part of a group back home, Adrenaline Pursuit Outdoors. And I'm kind of – there's 2 of us, but we have a lot of followers. So I'm like, listen, I'll share it on –
Adrenaline Pursuit. Oh, keep talking. I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Might
So
be a similar page that I'm already following, but that'd be pretty awesome if I'm already following that page.
that would be.
Continue.
So I show these things to Colton, which is the owner of Adrenaline Pursuit, and I'm like, bud, we got to get these out there for these guys. We got to be on these guys' pro staff, whatever it takes. I mean, I'm going to own a warehouse full of these things one day. So Jim and I start talking, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, we don't really have a pro staff, but why don't you come to Illinois and meet with us? We're going to do this show. And
Which one? Neither one has the like mark on it, so I'm already following.
Oh, man.
But I am right now.
There you
Swift
go.
kicking the nuts.
Just like
there
that.
you go.
Yeah, well, I bet you're not following Full Scale Outdoors on Facebook.
I'm following
either,
the
so.
podcast.
I'm
now.
You did subscribe right away.
Yeah.
But I'm following you. I did it the same time he did on Instagram.
right.
I don't even use Instagram.
Right.
So
That's all I ask. Even people that don't want to listen to this podcast, all you have to do is subscribe to it. Have it set to automatically download. One swipe of the finger, that thing is gone. You don't even have to fucking listen to it, but I still get credit for the download.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
all you
Yeah.
got to
No,
do.
that's-
All my
that's-
friends listen to it, you slacker-ass people. And I'm almost tapped out on Facebook for the friends limit, whatever it is.
5,000.
Let's just say my subscribers aren't that. So I got a lot of slacker followers on
Well,
Facebook.
yeah.
Subscribe.
Well, this is
You
gonna be
don't
on-
even have to listen to it.
This is
Just
going to be on my
fucking delete
page.
it.
I got
Yeah,
4,200 on mine.
We'll throw it out right now on our are you on the Instagram?
No, this has been pretty good. This is one of those where we easily could have been recording the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
We missed out on some already good quality content, but we'll get to it. We'll get back to
So
it.
I meet these guys face to face at a fishing show in Tinley Park, Illinois. I show up, it's all fishing. There's a guy with a pet deer there, and that's it. And I'm like,
Because that has to do with fishing.
man, what is going on here? What is going on? So we got to know each other. Great guys. I mean, they're in this for the right reason. There's not one of us that want to do this and be a millionaire.
Right.
I mean, would we like to? Maybe one day we'll have our own TV show. But that's not what we're doing this for. We're doing this for the sole purpose of new hunters and people who can't afford the more quality decoys, you
Right.
know? And I'm not saying, like Dave Smith, hand down, best looking decoy on the market. You're not going to find him
on a
anywhere.
hand-carved decoy.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is $900 a dozen.
Yeah.
I mean, people just can't afford that.
Yeah, your regular everyday schmo can't. That's
And how are we going to breed a younger generation of waterfowl hunters if they can't afford to do it?
yeah, it shouldn't be a monetary barrier.
You're
It's-
right.
It can be whatever you want it to be. And just like you said, the DSDs, yeah, they're awesome. Avians, great. I love them. I hunt with avians. I love avians. I'm not brand specific. I'm not brand loyal. But, yeah, they look great.
Right.
But even avians, they come with a pretty big prices with $300 some for 6 of them.
For $600 a dozen. They're almost as expensive as DSDs.
Yeah, it's
And nothing against
They're
Avian.
great,
You know,
but-
Fred Zink's from Ohio as well, up north in Ohio.
Yep.
I've met Fred. Great guy, great company. We just needed to offer. I feel like this is what was missing in the industry.
I do think that decoys, for the most part, are more for the hunters than they are for the geese.
Yeah,
You know, you talk to the old timers, you paint a black and white jug for. I know divers aren't the same as honkers, but
Right.
you know, a black and white milk jug.
Or you
That's all
cut
you
it.
need for
Oh,
divers.
I've
you know.
hunted in fields over
So-
tires cut in half
yeah,
and black
so
milk
tires cut in
jugs.
half. Yeah,
I mean,
it works.
You're right. It is more for the hunter.
Yeah,
than
and
it
I'm
is
not
for the
gonna
birds.
lie, I like a good looking decoy because as you're sitting there, you know that confidence to just like, all right, our spread looks live. Now you're not worrying about that. You
You're
know,
right.
You're paying
It's
attention
one less
to your,
thing you're worried about.
your calling or whatever. Your
Now you're just worried about the guy
concealment
down
or
at the
whatever.
end who
Exactly.
Blows that
exactly.
call like it's his job.
Yeah, but so with that said, obviously, if money was no object, you know, I'd have 100 dozen DSDs. Probably.
You're right.
You know, like why not?
Well, and I was joking with people at the show about that today. You know, they say, "Oh, you know, I got 5 dozen DSDs," and I'm like, "My goodness, did you have to refinance your house?"
Yeah, but look what's coming down the line too. Now you got like silhouettes are getting real big again.
Yeah.
And it's like that's nothing new.
It's a
Silhouettes
portable
have been
decoy.
out
Since the '60s.
for forever.
Yeah.
But they're getting real big because it's a good way to add numbers to your spread, to add to your spread. Like this isn't your spread. You got your other decoys that you got
And
in
that's
where
the
you want
thing.
where you're finishing these birds,
Mhm.
but you're making your spread bigger. It's not taking up space in your trail. These things and all can go in a bag. A bag.
Bag.
Big.
Go in a bag.
Big.
Not a
Going in a
bag,
big.
but going into a bag.
That's
Going
yours.
into
And
big.
I'm drinking my pop.
So I think that's where there's definitely a spot in the market for something like gym shoes.
well,
gym
and
shoe
that's the
decoys.
thing, you know.
And they don't look bad. I mean, they really
they're-
don't. They look. They
If
look like a goose.
set them,
They
you set
look
them beside
amazing.
avians. You set them beside avians, and you step back 20 steps. You tell me which one's the avian, which one's the gym shoe. I mean, they look like a goose. They've got a
They
great
look like a
carve. The design on them is flawless. The person who designed the decoys, it's flawless. I mean, the feathers have the right raise to them. We do a 3D paint scheme, so as you move the decoy, when you're looking at it from the back of the decoy, it looks a lot different than when you're looking at the front of the decoy.
I'm going to pick some up when we leave the game fair. I'm going to buy some just to try them out so I can give an honest review on them. But what I did like about them was, and I didn't notice this at first, it was like the second time I stopped in, the way they attach to have that little like bulb on the stand, so
Yeah.
it like clicks into that hole on top. So if you got to move your spread, that's not falling out of there.
No, absolutely not.
Just grab it.
We
So-
don't- we
grab
don't-
and go.
We leave stakes in all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
We don't
awesome.
take them out.
yeah,
Like
so
that's
if
huge.
you-
That's huge for me because I hate when it comes time where you got to make that on the
Fast
hunt
move,
spread. Armful of stakes, armful of decoys, whether
You're
they
right.
have tail straps or not. It's like it's just a pain in the dick.
Three
So-
guys can move 4 dozen decoys in one trip in under 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's
if you're
pretty cool.
moving, I mean, if you're moving 20 yards, I mean, obviously, if you're
Right.
picking up moving the whole field, it's going to take you longer. But 3 guys can put 12 to 18 decoys in one hand by the stakes.
Right.
And then you get over there and you're pulling them out and you're putting them right back down. I
Yeah.
mean, moving decoys with our decoys. I'll venture to say there's not another decoy on the market as easy, except for our direct competition that makes a similar decoy.
We won't. We shall remember names.
They shall
remain
Even though I
nameless.
own some of them.
I can't believe
and
it.
I like them.
Can't
Okay, we're done here.
Yeah.
I hope you're not posting.
No,
that.
they are. They're so especially with the EVA, the EVA decoys and everything like that. They're a game changer. There's so many people where they want to, they want lightweight. Like you said, you can do 5 dozen out into a farmer's field. He says, hey, don't drive out there, but you need to be
Yeah,
on the
you can.
X. You need to be on the X.
Yeah.
And after looking at now, mind you, I'm with BB Waterfowl. I'm not with the gym shoe guys, but after looking at them all, like the gym shoe is a superior product. It's a thicker EVA plastic, but it's just as light. It doesn't get brittle, when you're out in negative 37 degree temperature or anything like that.
I'll
And-
be the judge of that.
Yeah.
Well,
Did it even get that
Hey.
cold in Ohio?
It did.
It
And-
did
And
with-
I got told
Good
it did
night.
not, but it did.
We
I
had
hunted that day.
We actually figured out the wind chill that night, because he said, "Oh, I didn't get, it got to negative 30," and I said, "Oh, and I didn't get to negative 30. I live in Ohio. Like it doesn't get that cold." And we pulled it up. And we looked at the.
That wasn't the real feel. That was like the actual temperature.
No, that's what it felt like.
Oh, okay. All right then.
that's
'Cause
what-
But you got to understand, in Ohio,
'Cause here in
we're
Minnesota-
wide open fields.
depending on where you live in this fucking state,
Mhm.
it might actually be 37 below.
Yeah,
that
no.
ain't the real feel. That's just like Holy shit!
Yeah,
No,
the
this
real
was-
feel's negative 100. Just don't go outside or
Pretty
you'll
much, yeah.
die.
And that's with a 2-mile-an-hour wind. I think it jumps up to 5.
But the gym shoes, and this is the thing that turned BB Waterfowl onto them, is they're so lightweight, but they're durable. They have flocked heads, flocked tails. You can beat these things up, and they're going to take a beating. So if you're looking at volume, and that's the thing with any decoy company and everything like that, you're not going to buy just one single decoy and go set it out. So you're going to add volume, and they work great, and they're one of the best. I think that they are the best option for any type of field hunters or anything like that. But that's that's
pretty
my
slick.
personal
I mean,
opinion.
if you got water decoys, I was talking to you guys. Like, I had a brainstorm where I was like, I got this idea for this decoy. It's going to be, it'll be work for water and land. It'll just have the sliding thing up the chest, and it's going to be perfect. Then I started putting pen to paper, and then
I'm not
this
even
ain't gonna
talking
work.
about my company, but I was a big fan of the Avery GHGs, and you fit 6 goose decoys in a single bag. So you have a field where you have, you're doing a quarter-mile walk into your field or anything like that. Then I'm carrying 6 to 12 decoys at a time. That means 5 trips back to the trailer plus, layout blind and shotgun and everything else.
Yep.
I mean, they are quick. And now, I told this to one of our customers earlier today. I said, I'm one of those hunters that if I know the birds are going to be in there at 9 a.m. and its shooting light is at 7, I'm going to be there at like 7 a.m.
No sense in getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right,
Not
right. Yeah, and that's
I'll take a nap, play the nap.
That's me too. That's me. I don't like doing that because what if today is the day they change their schedule and I'm not there?
Yeah, and that's the good thing with the gym shoes is I can take, like they said, I can take 5 dozen. I don't take a whole 5 dozen, not in Ohio, because unless it's early season, goose with resident goose season, then we're not going to kill 5 dozen. So I take 3 dozen out, lay out blinds, 1 trip with shotgun, and I'm there. So if I pull into the field at 6:45, shooting time 7, I'm set up, I'm ready, we're there.
Right. Well, and it's crazy that there's that much of a difference in an hour and a half part, because where I'm at, we set out 8 dozen, 10 dozen, because we do shoot those numbers. I mean, there's been hunts we shoot 40 geese. It's weird.
And you guys aren't that far apart.
No.
No.
Well,
Crazy.
the thing is he is literally, if you draw a line straight down Ohio, he's got 1 river, I've got 4.
That helps. More water.
Yeah. So in
sure.
in his rivers, I don't think the Muskingum runs north and south.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, it runs all the way from it starts in Coshocton County. 3 rivers come in together to one, and then runs all the way to Marietta, hits the Ohio, and then cuts over.
Yeah. See, and the Scioto comes straight down through central Columbus, where all those birds are protected, and there's a bunch of quarries right there.
Those are the welfare birds.
The welfare birds.
These are the welfare birds. These are the birds that are walking around with their bling on. Not contributing.
No, sir.
Not
the
contributing
Columbus birds.
I need some
anything
corn real bad, man.
Yeah,
I think he's talking about.
You got any more of that corn?
He's talking about the Chicago birds.
No, I'm saying these are your
Chicago birds, Chicago people. They're on the same level.
These are your welfare birds. They walk around. They got all that shiny bling on their legs and everything like that. They do not contribute
They
into
are not wearing MAGA hats.
Yeah, and they do not contribute
Why do you
to
think I
any
take 'em
type
out,
of any type of your duck
Democratic
hunting.
geese around me.
And they're just standing around the parks looking for that free bread.
Yeah, that's right.
They are a welfare bird.
Yeah, so
Park geese.
but we get a lot of those that are coming south out of the big cities, Cleveland, Columbus. They come straight south following river lines, whereas they're not going to go east. There's nothing east for them.
No.
So, and they get to Columbus, they stack up on those quarry ponds, and when they catch the river and go further south, down by Hillsboro, which is another town we do a lot of hunting in, I've got a pond right in the middle of 5 quarries there. So
Nice.
that's why we do so well on geese, because it's all quarry hunting. We're hunting all quarries. And I actually have a buddy who just bought property along the Scioto who's digging a 4-acre pond as we speak.
Very nice.
So we're not.
Do you find when you're water hunting, is it consistent? Because one of the big things here that goose hunters bitch about is that busting the roost. So you can have a rock quarry, sand quarry, pit that's holding birds, and you go shoot those geese. They're gone.
Well,
they
see,
take out. They're gone.
I'm big on you don't shoot them on that quarry.
Okay.
We
so
don't
you're
hunt the
running traffic
quarries.
on the roost pond.
Yeah, so we have set up spots where these quarries are. The quarries in Columbus, we just hunt them right next to the river in a field. except for now, right in the middle of that, my buddy Cole's building a giant pond at his house right in the middle of all those quarries right next to the river. So that's going to be a traffic
That's
area
just
there.
a good traffic spot.
And then he'll plant wheat or corn or something
Whatever
around
around
it.
it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to leave one in, probably leave one in shallow. So, I mean, we
Yeah,
build
I'm gonna need that pin.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I'll drop it. If you're coming from Minnesota,
Yeah.
I'll send you the
We'll
address.
throw
He's a
you
great
out in
guy.
there.
I'm
Pull it-
coming in January for sure. We're
yeah,
doing
just-
this.
No,
You're
come
more
on
than
in.
welcome to. We actually talked to
And while you're there, we might as well shoot some big
who was
Ohio
the
deer
call maker
too.
today?
Pretty
I don't
Caleb.
know,
Yeah.
Have Bo will travel.
Barney.
Well, had
Barney
Bo will
Caleb.
travel. We'll see.
Barney
I blew it
Califf
up.
today, 3-time champion duck caller. He's going to come hunt with us this
Sweet.
year.
Excellent. Sounds like another good pod. We'll have to do a podcast.
Yeah.
when I'm
But
down
we
there.
did we set these spots up. I mean, I spent a lot of time scouting. I mean, I put 100,000 miles on my
Have
truck
to.
in 2 years.
Have to.
So we find these areas, and then whether one of us buy land in the middle of it, or we lease land, or we talk to a farmer, we widen a stream, we flood a field, we know where these birds are going. We try to cut them off in the middle, and we give them a reason to stop.
You can widen a stream.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy's got a track hoe. Dig it out.
You could not do that in this state.
Now,
The-
there's
the
a difference.
DNR
If
would
it's-
lose their mind.
There's a difference. There's some like there's one guy in London who dammed one up to make a marsh. He's an elite in London. He owns London, but I guess he got into a scuffle with that. So if you're just digging out the banks a little bit, as long as you've got erosion control, your soil can hold it. There's some checkpoints that you have to pass.
I'm telling you right now, there's zero chance that's happening in this state. Zero. The best
Really?
thing you can do, you can dig a pond. Now, ponds are tricky in this state too, because like if you want to dig a pond just for waterfowl, that's not gonna fly. Ain't nobody giving you that permit. If you have livestock, you can dig that pond without a permit.
What if you put fish
Because
in it?
it's a stock pond. I think you still need nobody digs ponds for fish in the state. We
Oh.
have,
Yeah.
You don't need
You
to.
don't need
Yeah,
to.
you're right. The
Yeah,
land of
no.
lakes here.
10,000 lakes
From
here.
right here where we're recording this at the boondocks, we can walk. It's like less than a mile of the Mississippi River if we want
Right.
to go fishing.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't
see,
need
in
to dig a
Ohio,
pond.
we just dig them.
Yeah. No, I know a lot of states
just
do
dig 'em.
that. The workaround for this state is if you have livestock, you can dig. You can
Stock
bring it
pond.
back home and dig a stock pond, and geese love stock ponds.
They do.
So do ducks.
I would buy
So-
a cow, one cow.
Exactly.
I'd fence him
Exactly.
in where
All
I
you
wanted
gotta
to
do
dig
is
the
get some
pond.
goats. So, I mean, anything. I mean, technically, I got livestock at my house. I got 7
Yeah.
acres. I got chickens,
You have
ducks, and
chickens.
Geese
and
that
ducks
pet
need water.
coyote.
love ponds.
They gotta have it.
right.
I'll tell you what, we'll dig
So
a
I
pond
could
at
get
your
away
house.
with it.
You
I
could.
could totally get away with it. But
Yeah. That pet coyote. I mean, does that
that
count as
pet
livestock?
coyote is gonna die of lead poisoning here real quick.
Intracranial acute lead poisoning.
Well, and that's why we shoot so many geese. You know, I really pride myself on how hard we work because a lot of people think duck hunting's easy. And
Who the fuck thinks that?
I'll tell you, there's a lot
People
of
that
people
haven't fucking done it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
well, there's a lot of people back home that have a buddy who does it. They show up, hunt, go home. You know, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, and that's, Ohio, like, we had this talk earlier today. Ohio kind of falls in between the two flyways. So you're not in the Atlantic, you're not in the Mississippi.
Right.
So Ohio is deer and turkey and dove. And we have great numbers, and we have huge deer that come out of
great.
Ohio.
Now everybody's gonna be hunting in Ohio.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brandon.
No, but
There
Don't go
is
to Ohio.
no
Go to
big
Illinois.
deer in Illinois.
It's money to the state.
it is.
It's
but
not enough money. I'm not even going to mention the price because I don't want people to come there. It's
But-
not enough money when I got to go to Illinois and pay $650.
What's the non-resident
come to
archery
Illinois.
license for Ohio?
Oh,
Not
I-
enough.
I'd say it's
$250.
Is it
Oh, that's not
250?
bad.
I
That's
thought
not
it
bad.
was 115, but
I think Minnesota's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Illinois.
It's not like Iowa. Iowa's ridiculous.
800.
Iowa's basically like, don't come here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Illinois $650. I've got a buck on the wall from
Jesus
Illinois.
Christ.
Kentucky $350. I got a buck on the wall from Kentucky.
But
But now
everybody
you're a
keeps
resident.
paying us in Illinois for it, and no one complains. So
See, now back in the day,
state-
Craig and I had this discussion.
Well,
It
nobody
used to
complains
be-
about an Iowa either because
Right.
it's big bucks.
Right. Well, and the crazy thing is, not that I like mentioning this, and all my buddies on Facebook back home are going to kill me for this, but you're right. Iowa has traditionally been big bucks, but Ohio had 20 plus 200-inch deer killed last year.
But if you look at the map, you look at the Boone and Crockett map, that's not all of Iowa. It's like the northeast corner of Iowa,
Yeah.
which is also the southeast corner of Minnesota, and then the southwest corner of Wisconsin. That kind
Yeah.
of tri-county
That-
area.
yeah, like
that's
a
where
panhandle
that's
right
where
there.
the giant ones go. So sneak tip for those that are coming to that area: fuck Iowa and just hunt Minnesota because it's
So
a
much
hell of a
cheaper.
lot cheaper.
You're right.
And if you look at county by county numbers, pretty similar to Iowa.
Oh, every
so,
bit of it.
Yeah.
So if
Well,
you want to go
and-
dollar per inch, if you want to
Yeah,
go that
yeah.
route, and I'm not, we're not talking porn here, where it's like this is bucks.
Well, they don't call me Ron Jeremy for nothing, but
Hey, I got the mustache. I already showed that.
Yeah, we already went down the facial hair conversation earlier.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, all these places like Alabama. I've got family that lives in Alabama. My buddy's got family that lives in Alabama. You go down there and shoot 100 deer. I mean, you shoot a doe a day.
Yeah, but they're the size of German Shepherds.
You're right.
Right. So you come to Ohio, you're shooting 180, 200-pound deer.
In Ohio, there's actually a booner behind every tree.
That's
Stop
what
it, Greg.
that's
Oh,
what I've heard.
every
Stop it,
single
Greg.
one.
Everyone should leave
that's what I've
Illinois and go
It
straight
doesn't,
to Ohio.
it doesn't matter because if you come to Ohio, everybody's already claimed all the deer.
Yeah.
If you shoot one, you shot somebody else's deer. So
Oh,
it
they
doesn't,
do that thing?
doesn't-
I've been raising that deer for 5 years.
You're right.
Yes.
I got him on
Mine.
trail camera
You're-
right here.
You're absolutely
Yes.
right. Big controversy
That
with the
one's
last
mine. That's my deer.
Big controversy with the last buck I shot. A guy, we both had permission on a farm. He sends me a text message about how he's not going to hunt the farm no more. I shoot the deer that he was after the year before. Oh, but he
Did
blew
he
me
name
up.
it?
Huh?
Did it have a name?
Yeah, I named it Steven because that's the guy's name.
Oh,
It's-
damn.
it's
that's
not-
cold.
It's basket rack.
It's just a little baby, little tiny 170.
Shit. Yeah,
Oh, the
it's
tiny
But
170.
The crazy thing about it is the way deer hunting has gone. It should never get. I had death threats. People calling me.
For real.
Yeah. I mean, his friends, his
Yeah.
family calling me about how they were going to find me, and they
Like,
know
bring
where,
it on, big
they
boy.
know where I live. Well,
Yeah.
my
okay.
Kimber hasn't
Yeah.
shot anybody yet, and it really would like to.
Yeah.
Come try me.
Come knock on this door, buddy. That Castle
God.
Doctrine covers
Like, do you
me.
think, that mentality just amazes me. Like, that person took the time, pick up their fucking phone, call you to threaten your life.
And it was. I mean, it was
do
bad.
you think they believe themselves? Do they
No.
think in the heat of moment, like, I'm actually going to go kill a human being
That's
over
tough,
a deer?
over a deer?
tough guy talk.
That's exactly what it
It
was.
is. And that's keyboard warriors.
But you have to hear yourself, right? Like, you have to know you're full of shit
So
when
he
you're
goes.
saying it.
He goes to Facebook with this, dude. It's on every.
Oh,
it was shared
God.
100,000 times, and I'm like, oh, there goes my reputation. Do I care? Absolutely not. 'Cause
That-
At the end of the day,
Hey,
my kids are fed, my
no
bills are
such thing
paid,
as good
and
negative
Steve
press.
is hanging on my wall. So why do I care?
Steve.
And so he.
No, it's
So equally in parts of people
If you're-
calling me to threaten to kill me, he's getting backlash as well.
I think
like,
if
dude,
you
it's a
ever
deer.
see a good band name, just requires a word and some numbers. So if you ever want to start a band,
Steve
like Steve 170 is a great
Boom.
fucking name.
Got it.
yeah.
Fucking great
That's
name.
a great. That's going to be the name of our group when we go hunting.
There you go, Steve
Yeah,
170.
Steve 170.
Fucking love it.
Let's go.
Get the T-shirts
Get
printing
it.
right now.
And
Call
I'm-
them up.
Only because there's people that's going to call me out on it. It was 169 and 7/8.
169.
Oh
even better.
boy, you're
Oh.
gonna fire
So
up.
leave the
this-
Why'd you-
7/8 out. Just go
Should have
169.
left him till next year.
Dude, I
He'd have
5.5 years old. You can imagine
Yeah.
what he'd be at 6.5.
No. Oh yeah. No.
And so the day before he was in velvet, and he shed the night before I shot him.
Oh damn.
I should have waited till the next year to shoot him in velvet.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Of
I
course.
should have just taken a picture so everybody
Yeah,
saw.
I mean,
that
Because
I
that's
saw.
your deer now.
You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're right. I
And you
mean,
named it.
That's
I didn't name
Corey.
it until after. all this.
after you shot
His
him.
name was the Kentucky Buck. When I shot him, it was still the Kentucky Buck. I dropped my Kentucky Buck off at the at the taxidermist. I told my taxidermist, "Watch this," and he said, "Watch what?" I said, "Bud, this is going to be hell in a handbasket." If I would have gone down there and shot a doe, if I'd have gone down there and shot a 120-inch deer, wouldn't have mattered. This guy goes down the year before, shoots a buck in velvet, walks up to it, realizes it's too small, leaves it there, doesn't tell me about it until
Excuse me?
we're at home. We have now driven 3 hours back home. By the time I get back down there, the buck's going to be rotten, you know. But
that's a phone call to the CEO right there.
So, and I did.
That's,
I told him.
that's some shit.
and but this is a guy talking about my ethics. After this dude shot a buck in velvet and left it lay on a hill because it was too small, and he was scared of what his friends would say.
Oh my God. Well then don't shoot in the first fucking place.
Yeah,
moron.
so the whole thing turned out to be a giant issue, you know, and it should have never gone that far. It's a deer that lives in nature. If anybody owned it, the landowner owned it.
Nobody owns it. Yeah, if anybody, it'd be the landowner, but he don't even own it.
And he
'cause
signed
that
a
thing
permission
can-
slip for me to shoot it. So at
Because
that point,
that
There you go.
deer does not have to stay
That
within
deer,
that property.
quite honestly, is owned by the American.
that deer is quite honestly.
Everybody.
It's-
That is American deer. That is for
it's a-
everybody.
That
It's a
deer is
President
quite-
Trump deer.
That is
MAGA.
I hate to say
bear.
it, but it's also like a Bernie Sanders deer. He
No,
pays taxes.
stop it.
He owns that.
Does he?
too.
Because he's in
Oh.
trouble for tax evasion.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
That's
It
neither
is.
here nor there. Because I'm sure Trump has never
and it's
gotten out of paying a tax.
definitely not
before.
Hillary Clinton's deer. It would have committed suicide a
Yeah,
long
right. It
time
would have
ago.
been dead a long time ago. Only if it had
Maybe
some
you work for her.
information. Yeah. Steve, what did Steve know about Hillary Clinton?
Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna walk under.
Subcontracted.
I'm gonna walk under this guy's stand because it's coming. I'm just.
I love those memes out there right now. It's like, I don't know anything about the Clintons. I just want to get that out there in case anybody's listening.
Or the one that said, if you've ever been affiliated with the Clintons, you have 843% chance of committing suicide this year.
Like, hilarious. Like, I don't even care if it's true or not. The memes and the jokes are a werewolf.
Oh, and
Well worth.
werewolf.
Shit talk.
What
Werewolf.
are
I'm
you
wearing-
talking
Were-
I don't know.
werewolves
I'd shoot one of
around.
those too.
Yeah, I'm out. I ain't coming to Minnesota, hon. I want to live out of this.
Ain't got one of those yet.
Oh, we got Sasquatch.
Well, no,
we got
it's-
Sasquatch up here.
Unfortunately,
Here's
that's the way
you
all
talk
hunting
about
is going.
Sasquatch. So here's my thing.
We're
here we
going
go.
down
You
a rabbit
have-
hole. I
Here we
did
go.
it, didn't I?
You have the
Brandon's the guy out there
the
smacking
fun.
a tree with a stick.
No, you have this Finding Squatch, and you have all these shows and everything like that, and you have
Sam
just,
Squatch.
yeah,
Sam
they're-
Squanch.
Sam Squanch.
Sam
and
Squanch.
they make such a
Sam
big
Squanch, Ricky.
on on it. I would say what
Better.
30-40% of trees is a camera. 30.
Oh, yeah.
And how have
Hold
we
on,
not?
wait a
how
minute.
do
How
we
do
not-
you come up with 34%?
30?
It's a great
to
number.
40.
Just go with
Yeah.
it.
34%
But no,
of
how-
trees
how-
in
how
America
have
have
we
a
not-
camera on them.
How
Bro
have we
math.
not had a trail camera picture of a Sasquatch?
Yeah, no
There's
kidding.
zero because they're magical, dude.
Oh,
They're
they avoid it.
interdimensional. They know.
Oh,
they
That's
gotcha.
why they take
Yeah.
their dead. That's why
Yeah.
we can't find dead ones. That's why there's no fossil records. Is
Yeah.
They take them back.
No,
They
these-
take them back
these-
to their dimension every
So
time.
we had the Finding
Think I thought
Squatch
you
or
would know
Finding
that.
Bigfoot or whatever it was that was on the Discovery Channel years ago,
34%.
and they came right in
I can't get over that.
30. Yeah, I'm just saying. But anyway, they came all the way over to literally.
It's probably higher on some public lands if we're being honest.
They came all the way
Only over
over
the corn
to Salt Fork area, which is like my backyard. And they were wandering around, and they said, "Oh, these woods are squatchy." And then and I said,
They're walking around going,
And all they found was your old lady. Oh, that's terrible.
yeah, and they're like,
yes.
"Oh, I just heard one," and I was like, "Dude, you're on public land right now. Like, I know exactly where you're at because of just the slope of the terrain."
There ain't no squatch.
I said, "There's 700 cameras from every John, Dick, and Harry out in the community. There ain't no squatch in there, but they can be squatchy woods."
There's no, I want to believe it, but there's just no way.
No.
With all the trail cameras, with people actually trying to find them, we have satellites, we have thermal imaging airplanes, we have thermal imaging drones. Get the fuck out of
Pretty
here.
Yeah,
squatchy.
thank you.
Get the fuck.
These
the
woods are
only
squatchy.
way. The only
But
way
I'll
it's
tell you where they
actually
live.
legit is if they are transdimensional beings.
I'll tell you right now, they live at
You
Area
can't prove
51.
it or
Why
not.
do you think that?
Area
When
51.
they were gonna
Are you going
storm-
down there? Are you
Yeah,
storming
I was
it?
thinking
Storm
about
it.
it.
You
I
storming
want
it?
to see the squatches, dude.
I just over there like you can't stop us all. I think they can.
I don't
Yeah,
know,
well, no,
dude.
that
Precisely
depends.
what the warthog was designed for.
You bring in all those Kyles, and they can just drink their
Yeah.
monsters, and they'll just punch through the drywall. You're good.
All those Kyles.
34% of those Kyles.
34%. No, I would say, but no, for real, like 30 to 40%.
That's better.
One out of every 3 acres that you hunt probably has a trail camera on.
Yeah,
it.
but how many trees are in 3 acres?
Well, I didn't say.
So
I didn't mean.
depends
30
on
to
the
40%
3 acres.
of wooded acreage sounds a little better. 30 to 40%
We're talking
of
about
trees.
buckthorn, and we're talking about like giant oak trees, because it matters.
Well, yeah, I
matters.
misspoke, and I meant
Size matters.
acreage.
Size matters.
Acreage, not
34% of all huntable acreage. I could see that.
Yeah.
I feel like this 34% is going to be a
it's-
long-running joke.
It
between
was
you.
almost. I almost was going to ride home with him tomorrow for 12 hours. That'd be a long time to talk about 34%.
Yeah. What's
When I looked over at the gas gauge, like, oh, check it out, we got 34% of gas. left.
30. We have 34.
You know,
When
if
you
you
come
move
out to
those
hunt-
decoys over there, I think we'd have a 34% more chance of those birds decoying.
When you come out down with it. 34% of the shots today didn't even hit
I'm
anything.
coming out with a football jersey. Just
34.
34.
34. Oh my
We
God.
get-
baby.
It's Steve 34.
Yes,
That's
it better be
Look at
Ohio
that.
State Buckeyes.
Might as
No,
well.
it is not the Ohio State Buckeyes.
It
Shove
is-
that where it hurts, pal.
Oh. Hey.
Wow, is that like not sacrilege where you come from to see?
It is.
I'm a Michigan fan, pal.
Yeah.
Live in
Like,
Columbus,
go blue?
Ohio. Like, go
we
blue.
we
yes,
don't
sir.
claim him.
Well, I can cheers to that because for no reason, I was a Michigan fan growing up. You know,
That's
I grew
what
up
I'm
in
talking
Minnesota.
about.
Well, here actually it's not
Because,
for no
you
reason.
know,
There's a couple reasons why.
One
I-
reason is, what does the Gophers do anymore?
we don't want to talk about that. Listen, Minnesota sports. It's a sore subject. Except Twins are doing really good.
Twins are
this year.
doing okay.
But the reason I was a Wolverine fan, a Michigan Wolverine fan, is just because there's
Probably Tom Brady. Like
no,
every
there's
other
three
woman in
things.
America.
There's three. No, actually, it
X-Men.
wasn't.
It was X-Men.
It wasn't. It was X-Men, but
Yeah.
way before X-Men were cool. Like, I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm 46.
Yeah,
so I
well,
grew
we
up
can
reading
tell.
these comic
Agent.
books in the 70s. So, like, I was a Wolverine fan way before it was cool to
I
be a
can
Wolverine
honestly
fan.
not give you a solid
Okay.
reason why I'm a Michigan fan. I've been a Michigan fan my
So-
whole life.
But there's multiple reasons. So Wolverine also, and one of his costume, it's blue and gold,
Yeah.
just like Wolverine colors. Now, however, the first school I went to, actually two schools that I went to, because we moved around a fair bit, school colors were also blue and gold.
Ah, the stars are aligning here.
I also really loved animals since I was a kid. Before I could read, I was reading just looking at pictures of animal books. The Wolverine was one of my favorite characters, which is probably why I liked Wolverine, the comic book character, because all that kind of fit.
It all ties together.
And together.
who wants to eat a
So-
poisonous nut?
Buckeye. So, putting it all together, so I went to Rosemont High School here in Minnesota, and their helmets are just like Michigan Wolverine helmets.
That's beautiful.
Because I don't remember I'm gonna fuck this story up, but I think one of the coaches or teachers
No. That's good.
or an alma mater or something, there's some connection with the Michigan Wolverines and that school, and that's how they got to use that
That's
style of helmets and that color for the school and everything else. So all that shit together, I'm like, I'm a Michigan Wolverines
I would
fan.
almost
Had
guarantee-
nothing to do with who was playing, win-loss record, none of it.
I would almost guarantee. Now, I'm a lot different than most Michigan fans. I am a Big Ten fan first. If Ohio State have me playing in the national championship, I obviously want them to win because I'm a Big Ten fan. Ohio State fans, biggest crybabies in the nation, cannot admit that.
Oh, you're just mad.
They can't admit if Michigan.
Poking the bear
If
now.
Michigan was in the national championship, there's
I
a
would root for
34% chance that they're all crying on the couch,
I would.
not wanting Michigan to win.
Only 34%?
Yeah,
I
You're
would.
giving them
I
some
would.
credit.
I root
You're
for
right.
I think
Michigan
you're
when
giving
they
them a lot
play
of credit.
in big games.
Well, we
'Cause
don't
they
win big games.
No,
Jim
you
Harbaugh
don't.
can't win a big game
I
to
mean,
save
you
his
guys.
life.
I mean, since Brady Hoke, Brady Hoke had a better record than Jim Harbaugh has
in big games. Yes.
See, obviously I'm a Gophers fan. I mean, I'm a homer.
No, don't be
Well,
that guy.
I'm
So
sorry.
if it's between the Gophers and Michigan, I'm going to root for the Gophers. But there is that part of me that kind
At
of
least one person
wants,
gets upset when Michigan wins.
kind of secretly wants Michigan to win.
And
But to be
meanwhile,
brutally
Craig's
honest,
like, I
I'm
like
not
hockey.
a huge college football
Yeah.
fan regardless. So
No,
I'm not a
that's-
big sports
on
fan.
Saturdays when you guys
I'm
are
a
all
fo-
watching
I'm
this
a
stuff, I'm out
professional-
killing geese and deer.
Yeah,
and
I'm a
stuff,
professional football fan and specifically a Vikings fan. And I don't need to hear all the
Sorry.
shit because I've been a lifetime. You don't have to tell me how terrible my team
He's
is.
a Browns fan, so
I-
it's
yeah,
okay.
like,
Dude,
Yeah.
you might have it.
I've been
on
a-
paper this
we
year.
do look well.
So one injury away.
We, you know,
That's
I-
every
terrible
every
season.
team. That's
as
every
I,
team.
I
What do you think
introduced
would happen to the
myself.
Patriots if Brady broke a femur? They're fucked.
Why would you talk about that?
I
Poor guy.
introduced
What if he breaks a
myself.
femur? It's going to be your fault.
Yeah.
Good. Send the checks directly to Dale Luganville.
I'm going to give him a call and let me say, Brady, check this out, dude. I know the guy that calls this.
Yeah,
Bring it
no,
on.
I
Bring it.
introduced
Whatever.
myself.
34%
when
chance he's
we
at this
talk
restaurant
about-
called the Boondocks.
Dude, 34%. It's a lot lower than that. However, doesn't
when
matter.
I
I'll be here
introduced-
waiting for him. That's fine. What's he gonna
Yeah,
do?
it
Hobble
sounds
after
like a
me?
threat
Yeah,
to
just
me.
kick him in the knee. You're
He's
good.
going to hobble if he breaks his his finger. I thought you said his finger.
No, his femur.
Not everybody breaks their fingers.
Yeah,
Stop
that's
it.
just you.
Honestly, Brady could probably play better than most quarterbacks with 9 fingers on his hands. It
Yeah.
pains me to say that, but he is pretty.
No,
At the end of the
true.
day, the guy's phenomenal.
I can't
Name a
Yeah.
better,
All right.
name
You know,
a better
I honestly
football
don't
player.
have anything against him. I don't have anything against the Patriots. As a casual sports watcher, it's just a boring story now.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I
Can
mean,
we
it's a little
have-
flat.
Can we just have different teams?
Like the ball.
Doesn't even have
Well,
to be my
we
team.
talked about
We just,
this
we just
last
need
night.
different teams.
Right.
Just not
Yeah, we
Patriots.
talked about this last night with the baseball and how it's always it's Yankees, Red Sox,
Yeah,
and
Have you guys not been watching baseball?
I'm watching baseball
Twins,
right
baby.
now.
It's
No,
Twins
that's-
and the Indians
so-
are just fucking.
No,
So
I mean, what about the
Craig
Dodgers
here
come out
won't-
of nowhere?
Well, Craig here won't.
The
he won't
Dodgers
come
last
off of
year.
it and tell you.
La Dodgers?
The Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers? Who saw that coming?
Brewers is never going to happen.
So
Huh?
They
Craig
can't do it.
They can't do it.
No.
Curse of the Bambino. Oh wait, that
Brewers?
was. I'm just kidding.
No.
Well, that's what it was
Greg's
last
full-time
year,
job
right?
is he makes professional players baseball bats for.
Yeah, that's
Is
his
that
job.
a true story?
That is a true story.
That's the
And
Louisville
it's
Sluggers.
Signed? No.
No.
He's not a Louisville Slugger.
No. Don't say
Oh
that.
God!
God, he's talking about White Rock and
Touchy
Louisville.
subject.
Wow.
Yeah.
You said the name. That
Yeah.
shall
No,
not
you-
be mentioned.
Oh, no,
I
you-
didn't say it. I did
you
not
mentioned
say
White
it
Rock
on this.
earlier.
I did
Oh,
not.
that's not even who I'm talking about. That's not
Not
the
on-
decoy. That's not the decoy I'm talking about. I'm
Not
talking
on
about the
this-
one that starts with
this-
a B.
since
Man,
I
you're
pressed-
looking really bulky right
Since
now.
I plus
Yeah. You guys have drank a
Oh,
bulk.
that's your.
You guys have
that's
talked
your
about a bulk, a
competition.
lot of beer here. You guys drink a bulk amount
Not
of beer.
even close to
Right.
bulk amount yet.
No, give
Yeah.
it. Give
No,
it
you're
time.
not, because it's real.
This is the
It's
thing.
real thin and holds its
Well,
shape.
this isn't live, so it's not really going to help anybody. But this is going to be people that hang out the game fair and you went to go see your favorite brand of this or your favorite duck collie or your
They're gonna
whatever.
be
They're
upset they
all
didn't see
here
us. Yeah.
tonight. This is the party
Yeah.
spot.
This
Is wherever
is-
all
this
the
is where
other
we
people
are-
are going to be here.
Cliff's still right up there, isn't he?
There's Tim
He
Grounds.
What?
I don't think it's actually Tim Grounds, but the back of that truck has a
Yeah.
giant Tim Grounds.
No,
I
I
know
see
it's
that.
not Tim Grounds. He
Yeah.
died last year.
That would be spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Sasquatch came with them.
Maybe Tim Grounds is an interdimensional being. You don't know.
34% chance.
Don't tell Hunter don't listen
Oh
to this.
shit. Anyway,
Hunter, I
You
got
guys
nothing
are good
against your
at
dad.
this podcast thing.
Well,
You bring all
Nothing
the
against
jokes
your
right
dad,
back
Hunter.
around.
These
I
guys
like
are doing
this.
these jokes, not me.
Yeah.
I personally like Tim Grounds, and I still blow Super Mag.
Yeah, I still blow Tim Ground's call.
Yeah.
I got no problem with him.
I've heard you blew Tim Grounds.
Wow, I was wondering if somebody's
Oh.
going for that
Oh,
joke or
okay,
not.
I
I,
got
was
you, I
gonna.
got
It was
It's
on.
inappropriate.
It was
Nah,
right
hey,
here.
I'm
whatever.
offended.
It was like it was.
Hey,
Come
he's
on,
from
brother,
Illinois.
mine.
He gets easily offended.
Hey.
Yeah.
They're all
You
Democrats
can
there.
love him or hate him. He's a better
Man.
goose hunter than I was.
Oh, for
A
sure.
world champion goose hunter.
I mean, it wasn't hard. From what I have gathered from the very few people that I'm friends with from Illinois, because I try not. I don't associate myself with them people.
Don't go across that river.
It's not hard to be at Tim Grounds in Southern Illinois in the 90s.
No, it wasn't hard. He was that good.
yeah, but he put the work in.
He was innovative. He was that good.
Oh, so he's the Corey Jeffers. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Corey Jeffers.
Yeah.
The.
Oh. we
But
call him
The
hardcore.
Ohio
Pull tab.
State.
Hardcore.
the Ohio
The
State
Ohio
University.
State
It's so
University.
prestigious. The. So prestigious
State.
that their coaches can't keep their shit straight and they all get
Hey,
fired
at
for
least
lying.
it's proper grammar
The
Yeah.
Ohio State University.
because it does start with a vowel. Ohio
Well,
does
I
start with a
mean-
vowel, so it is the Ohio.
I mean,
not the
here's
Ohio.
Well,
the.
those football players are really good students.
Some of them are.
Oh, absolutely. I
They're
mean,
there
I'll
for
have
I
you
would
know,
sell my
she-
body for a tattoo.
I will have you
Yeah.
know, Robert Smith, ex-Viking,
Yeah.
damn near
Ex-Buckeye.
genius, and
Yeah.
an amazing.
I will have
businessman.
you know, the single best player in the NFL today did come from Michigan. Although he did not start for 2 years. Tom Brady came from Michigan.
Oh, I thought
I
you were-
wouldn't say Tom Brady is. I mean, Tom Brady got
I
put
thought you were
into
talking
a
about
system.
Kirk Cousins.
Let's get back to duck hunting.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Kurt who? Quiet.
Let's
Quiet
go
you.
back to duck hunting. 'cause
I'm
we-
lying to myself.
We
right
better
now.
go back
Just
to
let
duck
me
hunting.
have this moment.
We're getting on the
Yes.
touchy subject, dude. I'm telling
Yes.
you, in Ohio, we will go out in that parking lot and fight over college football.
Oh, every bit of it.
I mean,
It's not my thing. Like literally, the only sport I pay attention to is
Is
professional
hockey.
football when it's actually going. I don't give a shit about preseason. I don't give
I
a shit
don't-
about anything else. It's like when it's going, I watch my
See,
my
I'm
Vikings.
Colin Kaepernick ruined football for me.
No, I'm going to be upset at the
Yeah.
end of the season. I'm
Yeah.
fully aware. So it's like when people tell me how shitty my team is and how they can't win big games, you don't think I fucking know that? Or 6 years old. I've been watching this team for a long fucking time. I know exactly how this is going
Right,
to pan out.
right.
You ain't telling me shit.
At
I
least
get this.
you weren't the Bears kicker last year, smacking the upright every time you kicked the ball.
7
Man,
times.
You know, just all kickers league wide were terrible. Like,
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's kicker.
but Green Bay missed like 5 in that one game.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you have one job. That is
Kick
I'm gonna
this
pay
football.
you millions of dollars a year,
Millions.
Millions.
and you are just all I want you to do is just simply kick the ball. Kick the ball.
Straight
Put it
line.
through there.
Just straight line.
Yeah.
That's it.
No,
That's
But-
how we handle Corey. We give him millions of dollars a year. Just sell some decoys, Corey.
You pay him millions.
that
of
works.
dollars.
Well,
I am-
your,
it works.
your last check
Millions?
bounced. So in return, I slept in the trailer today.
Millions? I'm in the wrong
All right.
business.
Favorite duck to shoot.
Favorite duck to shoot?
Like
Like that? Like my favorite
Often?
to pursue?
Yes.
or your favorite duck.
No, I'm talking your favorite style of hunting. What is your favorite style of hunting, and what kind of birds are you bagging?
That is really a tough question.
So I'll start it.
That's a super
I
tough
love
question.
hunting for my kayak, swamps, marshes, rivers, and
also
I love
like kayak hunting. It's
I
fun.
love shooting wood ducks.
Okay.
Too big to
Early
hunt out of a
season.
kayak.
Are you jump shooting? I mean, not like, are you floating?
No,
Like,
no. This
you're
is we're
decoying and-
setting decoys up, and we have a really hot spot. And that's fine. You keep fucking with your mic. It's great.
Well, it's like
Hey, what happened?
I don't want to
was
breathe
the
in it.
screen not on
It
there?
wasn't
Just-
on there. I don't want to breathe into it. That's
but
why.
anyway,
bag, but
no,
whatever.
we have a really hot spot. Where we're at. This literally 7 miles from my house, and we launched the kayaks out, and these wood ducks just pour into this little spot, and it's got a good mixture of cattails and Milo, and everything like that. But when you're on the kayak and you're twisting and turning and you're more worried about am I going to fall in? But no, I want to shoot that big fucking drake right there. That's the kind of stuff. And it's you get when you hunt wood ducks, you have 30 to 45 minutes. They're gone.
Yeah.
I don't know where they go during the day, but they
I
are
know.
gone.
I could point them out on a map where they go.
They go to that one road, the one with the pavement.
No, they go. Their day loafing spots are pretty easy to find if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah,
and I found those by accident.
Yeah, they are
It's consistent.
gone.
At least in Minnesota, it's consistent.
This is a whole different
There's a
side
little
of the
backwater.
world.
It's a
I
whole
mean, it's dark at
backwater.
home and it's still daylight here.
But it's
weird.
I like hunting on a kayak too.
Yes.
Things I like about hunting on a kayak, you get in waters that generally, people, they're gonna get a mud motor. They want this. I mean, I know a guy that's building a pontoon duck blind, which is great. It's gonna be comfortable.
It's fun.
It's gonna be cool, right? But you can only put that in certain places.
Right.
Landing's got to be good enough to launch that thing. You ain't dragging that down a bank that doesn't have a proper boat ramp. Like,
Right.
Kayak, as long as you can drag it, you're in.
good.
You can go wherever you want. I really like. There's a small creek by my house that, like, opening morning, I'll set on a lake or something, and I'll shoot those first couple hours. And obviously if it's great and I got my limit, I'm done.
Right.
But if I don't, if I have a couple birds to fill in my bag, and some of those aren't wood ducks because the limit's 3 in Minnesota.
That's the same here.
Yeah. So if I haven't filled my limit of wood ducks, I know I can fill them on this creek.
Right.
And I just do a quick little float. And it's and the way you do it, you really have to position your kayak right. So you got to play that current. So when you come around that corner, you're in shooting position. When a lot of people fuck up when they hunt kayaks for the first couple times, it's like that's not straight ahead of you. So if you're right-handed, that's off to your left.
Right.
If you're left-handed, that's off to your right. And you really only have about 20 degrees
Yeah.
to swing. You can't swing.
Right. You'll
And
fall.
if you go all the way
Yeah.
to
Oh,
the
yeah.
9 o'clock position,
Swimming.
if you don't have a stable kayak, that's not going to end well for you.
Let's pick that shotgun up out of the bottom of the river.
Exactly.
You better tie that thing off.
Yeah, you have about from like the 10 o'clock position to the 5 after. You know, position. That's
Oh,
your
yeah.
shooting
Right.
window. If you're a right-hander, if it's left-hander, it's whatever. It's
Wouldn't 5 after be 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
Well,
whatever.
10 to 1, yes.
10 to 1.
10 to 1.
35% of the
Yeah.
time it is.
35.
Beat me to it.
That's 35% of the clock.
But so kayak, I do really enjoy kayak fishing. Generally it's a solo endeavor.
Kayak
for the
fishing
most
or
part.
kayak
completely
hunting?
switched subjects here.
Oh, sorry, fishing.
No, I mean, it's
whatever.
fine. That's
But
great.
I also like kayak fishing too.
Amazing.
For almost the exact same reasons, because you can get into waters that the big
Nobody
boats.
else
And
can
I
get
have a
into.
Ranger bass boat. But it's different. Just you're right on the water. It's a totally different experience. I love
Right.
it. It's great. But kayak hunting is fun. You get to go places where a lot of people can't get to.
Right.
Right.
You're not bringing a shit ton of decoys.
Right.
When I first hunted on a kayak, I put like decoys in every pocket that wasn't me inside. And then I realized you can just take the bag of decoys and balance it on the front, and I can take way more
Oh, see, I
decoys
Tie 'em
out.
off
I
with the
do
Texas rig on the
just
back.
the
Yeah, but that drag sucks when you're paddling.
See, I do just the opposite. I throw all of my Texas rig weights into the cockpit, and then I just pull the decoys behind.
You want the drag of those decoys floating there doesn't fuck with you?
No, I go
Yeah,
about
I
a
don't
half
like
mile
doing that.
upstream on a
Alright.
pretty decent current.
Upstream.
Not that bad.
Upstream. And that's
It's easier
it.
when you
That's
come
that
back with a kayak full of ducks with your
Right.
limits.
Well, you got to kill some first. I mean, look how ripped he is. That's why.
Wow.
That's why.
What's that?
That's why he's ripped, dude.
He's jacked, bro.
He freaking carries
Jack,
out
do you even lift, bro?
Bigfoots. Yeah,
No.
no. Yeah, I
You-
lift the
you-
fork from the table to my mouth.
You mad, bro?
So I tried kayak hunting last year one time. So I'm like, oh, kayaks, yeah. I went to Tractor Supply, $200 on sale. There we go.
Boom.
Those are my kayaks.
Do it.
Oh my God, we didn't. Well, it was cold. It was probably 10 degrees. It always is. When ducks are in, But these ducks, I watched them pound this creek, and I'm like, I don't know where they're going, but there's a cloud of them. So me and a buddy who has kayaked before, I've never even sat in a kayak. Right off the bank into the kayak into the water.
Oh.
I'm like, he's like, and my uncle dropped us off. Because in Ohio, we have a law, you can float any waterway, but you cannot touch bottom or the bank. So there, if you touch bottom or the bank, you're trespassing.
Right. We have different laws here.
Yeah, see, so you can float any waterway. So technically we trespassed to get in the water. So my uncle dropped us off. We dragged the kayaks down. We got in the water. He left, and I said, you're going to meet us 4 miles up creek. It's going to take 2.5 hours to float this. We'll see you up there in 2.5 hours.
You're wet now.
Oh, dude, I
10
didn't
degrees.
even start, and I'm wet. So I wore my waders anticipating at some point something's going to happen. And I've got the new Drake Guardian Elite Series jacket, which is phenomenal. Well, sheds water great. So I'm not soaked, but like up my cuffs got wet.
Yeah, your wrist and
my wrist and hands are soaked. My gloves are soaked. So I finally get this thing worked out, and we go off on our way. And I can tell you, I did thoroughly enjoy it, but I got to get a better kayak. They've got to make a better kayak.
They do. They make much more. Yeah.
Like
if you
the
got,
new
if you got a
canoes?
cheap one, if you got a cheap one, that thing's gonna be tippy as fuck.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was tippy.
Yeah.
It was tippy.
No, so the new canoes, we met a guy at
Wait, are
Pyman
we talking about
Tuning.
canoes or kayaks?
No, it's a new canoe kayak. It's
That's what it's called. That's like the brand name
Oh.
of the
canoe.
kayak.
We met a guy. We were at Pyman Tuning, Pennsylvania, and this guy, he sold us this is exactly what you need. And I was like, bullshit. Like I have an old fashioned blah blah blah, like 12-footer, 11.6, and he was like, no, seriously, like come up here, watch my videos, hunt with me, hunt out of this. And they are one of those like you can stand up and you can shoot, you can stand up and
Stable.
you can cast.
That's impressive.
It is like again, no affiliation with them,
Right.
but damn, they're really
What are those retail?
pricey, $1,200.
Oh,
Ouch.
But
that's
It's
10
not
dozen.
a Hobie.
That's
Hobies
10 dozen
are,
decoys.
Yeah.
Hobies are even more than that. They're the ones with the pedal, the little fins.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Go, the self-propelled.
Have you ever seen the
well,
ones
not
with the-
self-propelled, but they're
have you ever seen the
Self-steering.
ones with the battery? That you have a little
Oh, yeah, I have seen
steering
those,
stick
yeah,
in the
yeah.
center. And
Well,
it
you
just
got
runs off a
there's
propeller.
a solo skiff that actually has like a small outboard, but it's like it's like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And you steer it that way. Then there's another one that uses like a jet ski motor and like a joystick.
Yeah,
What?
Those are
it has
pretty
a
sweet, too.
joystick. And
Those are like $5,000.
yeah.
Looks like
So,
I'm buying
no,
one of those.
Yeah.
That looks like the way we're gonna kayak.
the-
But I'll tell you, if your river isn't weedy, mucky, and it's more rocks, gravel, stuff like that, I can't remember the name of the brand name of the one that's the jet ski motor, but
Yeah.
that's, dude, you're smiling. You don't have to
Well-
worry about shearing off any props. No,
Right.
like you can shoot that thing 35 miles an hour in 4 inches of water. You're going.
Wow.
Gone.
See, that's what a lot of people around me look for boats. Like my duck boat that I use on the river is just a 14-foot Alumacraft. To me, it's probably like a 1940.
Sure.
And-
Whatever.
But it works,
Yeah.
and it's got a short shaft motor on it. We can get 3 guys. We go 6 miles upriver when we hunt the river, and it's just shallow enough that sometimes you got to get out and pull. So a couple years ago, I switched to a bigger boat. I was switched to an 18-foot boat with a surface drive, and I hated it.
Really?
I hated it. I mean, and it might have just been the motor. I bought a Gator Tail used,
Okay.
and I just couldn't. And not on plane isn't what I'm looking for. I just couldn't get it to drive right, and I had same problem. There were some spots that were just too shallow. I couldn't get through,
Sure.
and so a kayak that has a motor in it, I might get into kayaking. Something like
No,
that.
they
I don't know
they're
if they call
pretty
those
legit.
kayaks, but whatever. So to answer your question,
Yes.
what my favorite style of duck hunt is, I find that's just really difficult because, I mean, field smashing
Nothing beats it.
mallards is awesome. But with that said, I don't really get excited about mallards. The only reason field smashing mallards is fun because mallards are like the most common bird to use a dry field. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah, you're going to get some pintails depending on where in the country you are. Maybe a widgeon, maybe a gadwall.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's going to be mallards.
Right.
This is going to be way more than 34%
Yeah.
of the birds using
30.
that field are going to be mallards.
It's a goose field.
But mallards, I don't understand, like, a lot of the southern guys are like, oh, just them red-legged mallards, them greenheads, just shooting greenheads. And all them they call all the other ducks are just trash ducks. And
Yeah.
in a perfect world for me, and the reason why your question is so hard for me,
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite duck. Because
in a
Anything
perfect
other than
world,
mallard is
my
awesome.
bag limit of 6 is going to be 6 different ducks.
Right.
One of the things that
Agreed.
I've drawn to waterfowl hunting was the variety. You know, when you go deer hunting, a deer is a deer is a deer is a deer, except for
Right.
the rack. I mean, the rack changes a little bit. But,
Agreed.
I mean, you're shooting does. A doe looks like every other
Doe,
doe out there.
You're
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
it's just a doe, and you're one and done. Waterfowl hunting, I mean, they're not necessarily, depending on your zone, you can take. I mean, like where I'm at here in Minnesota, I think I can take up to 3 bonus deer or whatever. So, I could shoot 3. You're not one and done, but it's not the same as waterfowl. I can shoot 6 a day.
Right.
For
as long
30
as
days.
as long as I'm eating them.
Right.
You still only have a 2-day possession limit,
Right.
so I can still
Right.
only ever have 12 ducks in my possession. And what a lot of people don't understand is like, oh, I got 12 in my possession home, and they're hunting actively. Like, no.
That's
You're-
illegal.
You shoot one bird, you're over limit.
Right.
Because
Right.
now you have,
The
you
good
know,
news in my household, there's 3
13.
people with a license.
yeah.
So
Well, yes, I am.
Holy cow.
I am good. I know
Wow.
I got to talking, I'm not drinking, I'm falling
Well,
behind.
yeah,
It's
so
a terrible
and
deal.
for me, it's not so much my favorite way of hunting as it is like my favorite duck hunt. I don't care if we're hunting. I don't care what we're hunting. Would be my brother and I. We don't get to spend much time together. We're both busy. So as long as we're hunting, I don't
Yeah.
care what we're hunting. You know, my ideal hunt is we just go down to Hillsborough and shoot geese on that pond. We both found the pond together. First hunt out there, we
That
shot
makes-
we shot 4 bands, just him and I.
That's crazy.
And it was
Yeah.
like his second goose hunt ever. So it was, I mean, at that spot in that scenario does hold something special for me.
Sure.
As whereas if I'm going hunting and it's me and my brother, that's what matters to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of variance in it too. I got a spot that I like to hunt here in Minnesota. It's a 2-mile hike as the crow flies to get to this spot. It's
Oh,
in the
shit.
middle of a state forest, so it's all public land. But you have to wear your waders, but it's not always wet. Sometimes you got to go up over these big oak islands, and you're down in the water. Now you're waist deep
Yeah.
in water for a long stretch, and you're back up on dry land, and then you're going through brush, and it's a pain in the ass to get back there. But once you're back there, and I can't even say it's Shangri-La when you get back there, because sometimes the ducks are back there, and sometimes they're not. You can't scout it.
Right.
Well, you can,
With a drone.
but you're
Yeah.
no, you can't even legally do that because at least in the state of Minnesota, you cannot use a drone to assist you in taking of game. So if you use the drone to scout, you're breaking the law. In
That's
Minnesota,
not
I don't
in
know how it
Ohio.
is in Ohio.
We don't have that law in
Every
Ohio.
state is
We-
different.
yeah,
Their
so-
drone laws are different.
No,
in
you
every state.
can't. You obviously can't. You can't use electronics to aid in the taking of it, as in you take the drone and run the deer to you. You can't do that, but you can scout with it.
Yeah, no, you in
Now,
Minnesota, as far as
ethics-wise-
I understand it, you can't use it even to scout.
Right. Ethics-wise, I don't think it's very ethical to use a drone. Get your lazy ass out of the truck and go do
Well,
your
when
job.
it's a 2-mile hike, I mean, that's, you
Well,
know.
yeah,
And the
I
shitty
mean-
thing is, like, it was like 2 years ago, I think. Maybe 3. No, I think it was 2 years ago. I actually did take my ass and scout it the day before.
Yeah.
And I went, and there was a ton of ducks using it. I'm like, dude, we're going to smash back there. I know it's a
This
lot of
is
work,
it.
and I'm
Yeah.
convincing my buddies to do this. I'm like, you're going to love it when you get back there. You swear, if somebody blindfolded and dropped you off, outside of the fact that you can't see any mountains on the horizon, you'd think you're in the middle of fucking Alaska. Like, it's awesome back there. Just
Yeah.
great. You can't hear cars. You don't hear shit. You're in the middle. You don't have cell service. Like, you are in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Nowhere.
It's awesome. It got really cold that night.
Froze.
All
It
our
froze.
teals and didn't freeze, but it got cold enough that like all your early season birds boogied out.
Hey, see you, bitch.
Wood duck's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teal gone.
Yeah, that
Oh,
sucks.
shit, we didn't. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we shot.
And
A couple,
that's-
I think we ended up shooting a couple. We shot a goose. We didn't have a single goose decoy. That goose came in, We broke him off just in calling. Broke that goose off of a flock, and he was just looking for. He just
a dude,
couldn't
I'm-
find him, and he
I'm
finally
tired.
came down low enough, and we put him
Yeah.
on the water.
I'm tired. I'm tired of flying with these guys.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm gonna.
It-
I'm gonna
that
sit
was
down
all
here.
calling. We
Yeah.
didn't have a single. We had duck decoys. We didn't have a single. And we were only carrying a few decoys back there. There's a lot. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, and
shit,
that's
your
one of the
waders,
places.
Guns, decoys, a 2-mile hike through a swamp. That is
Oh, yeah.
not fucking easy.
One of the places that we hunt, going back to the kind of the drone thing, is it's every bit of probably probably a mile and a half all the way back in, but it's just a big giant W of just swamp, marshy area that has 2-foot bottom and just nasty bottom. But
That's the good thing about this spot is the bottom's hard. Like it's all
Yeah.
even when you go into the water, it's all gravel
Oh,
and rock. I
no,
don't know
this
why
is-
because you're in a
quarry or
giant. It's a
something?
giant swamp. No, this is like virgin. I mean, this is like wilderness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think what it is an old ancient riverbed.
Okay.
So it just has
God
like
made
the
lake.
bog.
Yeah.
The bog is built up over it, but it's still a hard
Yeah.
rocky bottom
That's
underneath
awesome.
it.
so going back to to the W, like we can go in, we can walk in, and we can try and scout this. And I don't know if the birds are on this end of the W or they're in the middle or they're on the other
Sure.
end. So we did get back there and we launched the drone. I'm like, where are these birds sitting? I know exactly they're here, but where? So that's when we launched the drone. Just simply fly up high enough. Birds are on the middle third, and that's where we're going to set up tomorrow.
For me, it did. I mean, they were pissed. My buddies that I brought, they're like, I'm never doing this ever again. And I actually like going there at least once a season, just because the view. I mean, the fact that you're so far away from any hunter. And this is an hour from the Twin Cities metro area,
Right.
from the heart of the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably less than an hour to where you're going to park and walk in, and you can get complete solitude.
Yeah,
Like,
and
there's something to be said for that. And you shoot a duck, great. If you don't, I mean, the first time I saw it, I found this just pouring over satellite maps. I'm like, this looks ducky as fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the hell do I get there?
Squatchy.
Here I am.
Squatchy. Squatchy as hell. So I could see this line. I'm like, I think that's a trail. So I just drove and I'm like, this is an old road. And I could see like a trail. It's all getting overgrown. But like, this is definitely, at some point in time, this was a trail. When you get back there far enough, the state forest actually butts up against state park, which you couldn't hunt because it's a park. But somebody put that fucking state park sign there. I
Yeah.
don't know how long ago.
Right,
'cause
and
there
ain't
is
nobody been
no
there.
sign of human activity back here except for me.
Right.
And every time I go back there, every year I go back there, it's growing over more and more. Like, I am literally the only dumbass that's going back there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking work.
You guys have
And it's
to-
opening season, so
rewarding.
it's like the third weekend or fourth weekend of September, whichever that opener happens to fall on for
Yeah.
us here. So it's hot. I mean,
Right.
it's usually warm.
Huh.
They don't make warm weather duck hunting apparel. This
Right.
shit's meant to
No.
keep you warm. Not just breathable.
Put your
nothing.
duck oven jacket on it and go.
Fucking sweating your
Shit,
balls
duck
off.
oven jacket in September. No way.
But I do enjoy that. But I can't really say I have a favorite duck. I mean, as far as like what would I like to shoot?
yeah.
Everything.
Harlequin. I mean, or a king eider.
Well, that's why
You know?
I'm excited to hear Craig's answer to this, because this guy has hunted every body of water that holds ducks in the world.
Yeah.
He's
Mr.
probably-
Mr. Silent over
I
here.
think he went to
Can I
Saudi
take-
Arabia
can I
and
take a
shot
guess?
ducks off of a camel.
Sand ducks.
Sand
Sand
ducks.
Sand ducks.
Sand ducks.
Sandusky, isn't that the guy that touched
That's
his
in
little boys?
Ohio. I just talked about that.
No, we're talking about the
No,
Penn State
this-
Sandusky, your
this
best
guy-
friend,
Yeah,
buddy.
different one.
This guy shoots
Different
the
Penn
tree
State.
ducks.
Light bulbs.
He's
Full whistling tree ducks. So
yeah, he shoots the tree
how-
ducks, but not even in Florida. He shoots them in Illinois.
how about
Like,
a
he is
macaw?
just-
Macaw teal.
Not yet.
Gotta
Yet.
go to Russia for that son of a
I'm
bitch.
going to Russia.
Are you?
It's not scheduled, but I'm going to
I
get
know
there.
I'm 6'4", but if you have big enough luggage, I can fit.
Hey, let's work it out, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Life's too short to sit at home and
No, I hear
just
you on
think
that
about
one.
fun stuff.
I would
Like
like
a
to get.
mandarin.
I would like to
Shoot
get
a
a group trip
mandarin.
to Alaska.
Yeah, that's
Can't.
just a fancy wood duck.
I don't think there's anywhere you can hunt mandarins legally, wild mandarins, because you can't hunt in China.
Right.
You can't hunt in China?
No.
Ooh, they're communist, pal. You can't have guns there.
You can't hunt in
Good call.
they're obviously North South Korea. You
Right.
can't hunt there. So someone may find that there is some country that you could do it, but
If you find,
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
not
you
sure.
get a rare game farm escapee here in the States.
So there was a
Oh, yeah.
there was a mandarin in Central Park in New
Yeah,
York this
he
past
was there
year,
for like
and
3
people
years.
were losing their shit about it.
but I would be set up on the first field in the direction he flew that was huntable,
Better go.
Yeah.
and I
We
would
had-
not leave.
we had a barnacle goose on a pond by our house
Really?
in
Really?
Illinois. Yeah.
Did you shoot it?
No, I don't know if somebody
Ruger
ended up doing it.
1022
Most
with a
people would know.
silencer.
Most people would drive past and not know that
what it
a
is.
barnacle from a Canada. They
Right.
They wouldn't pick them out. but
Yeah.
There was an Egyptian goose shot in Ohio last
Really?
year.
hmm
Yeah.
Another game farm escapee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, he flew here from Egypt.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, right.
All
I
over
mean,
there.
could be a
He,
student.
on a
he
boat.
had a pharaoh hat on, so he obviously came from somewhere other than a farm.
No, so funny story. You talk about bands and everything like that, and how far birds travel. There was a pintail shot in
California.
California that was 21 years old, banded in Japan.
Yep.
I didn't even know the pintails.
Yeah.
A northern pintail.
Northern pintail
Yeah.
from Japan.
Wow.
Banded in Japan. Made the trip across the ocean. Some sorry bastard shot him in California.
God damn. Son.
Yeah.
Guy
He
was
probably
coming here
wanted
for
to. He's
coming
probably
here
like,
from
I
a better
can't-
life.
I can't.
Got
Yeah.
over the wall
America.
and get shot.
He's probably a kamikaze. He probably right at that boat. He probably
Yeah.
dove into the boat.
But you know, it's
break
funny.
his own neck.
You say that, but like
Probably
on
when he
the
got shot if he
Aleutian
would have came in from
Islands-
Mexico.
the Aleutian Islands, my buddies hunted Cold Bay last year in Alaska. I didn't make that trip, but that Cold Bay is way out there, and it is covered with puddle ducks. What are they doing there? They shot widgeons. They shot mallards. We've seen them on Kodiak, same species. They shot all these
Kodiak.
puddle ducks. Yeah, no, not Kodiak.
So
In Cold Bay.
widgeon is the duck that haunts me. It's the
Really?
one puddle duck that comes to Ohio
Cotton
that I have not shot. Have you shot a widgeon?
I have shot a widgeon.
So we're in a field last
Everybody
year.
knows what they're doing is kill the widgeon.
Yeah. So I mean, we're in a field last year, and we had a rough season in Ohio, like the rest of the country. You know, it was the problem with it was I had birds to hunt. My fields were holding birds, but the conditions would change so fast
Agreed.
that
100%.
I would find birds on Monday in a field, and it would be 70 and wet, and the next day it'd be 30 and frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that fast.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a roller coaster weather year.
and it was
last
tough
year.
to find
Yeah.
them. So we hunt this
global
field.
warming.
Me and probably one of my
Sore spot.
closest friends here soon, or here recently, since I started duck hunting. B. So we hunt this field, and when I hunt with B, he's done it his whole life. He calls the shots. He does all the setup. I'm just the hunter at that point. I don't have any say in anything. So we set up, and there's patchy snow on the ground. Now, granted, the day before we scouted this field, there was no snow. Snowed overnight. Then it got warm again, so now we have patchy snow. So I didn't bring a snowsuit, but my decoy bag's white. So I crawl inside my decoy bag, and I'm like a sleeping bag, and he actually brought a snowsuit because he's smarter than I am. And these group of ducks, I'll never forget this. These group of ducks come in, they buzz us from behind, they make a big swoop, and they're right out in front. I'm like, I'll call it. He calls it, and it wasn't his fault. It was just we were set up way wrong. The birds get out in front of him. I now can't shoot, or I'm going to shoot him.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. He's like, I think those are widgeon. I'm like, oh, they better not have been.
Oh shit.
They better not have been. That's the one duck that I haven't shot. We go pick it up, and he's like, it's a widgeon. He's
Probably
like,
big old cotton top.
no, it was actually a hen, so we missed
okay.
all the drakes. He brings it back, and we're talking. He's like, you know what's kind of crazy? These bibs that I have on are the widgeon series. So that's
Oh,
our
good
running
grief.
joke. You know, we were out fishing last week on Lake Erie, or walleye fish a bunch, and we get done. He's like, I was kind of hoping we catch a steelhead or a muskies, and you know they're around this time of year. He said they're pretty rare, kind of like shooting a widgeon in Ohio. That's our running joke.
Yeah.
Widgeon, they haunt me, man.
Mine for the longest time was the Drake Goldeneye. And, I mean, we checked that one off the list last year, but all of us shot it, so I can't even really lay solo claim to that one.
I have one pellet.
When I
the one
got-
pellet that hit, right in the eyeball and went through the brain. That was me. That was
The
mine.
first,
Yeah.
I got a couple stories like that. The first duck I ever put on the wall, of all things, was a gadwall, and we talked about this
Yes.
when I was stopped in your booth.
love a gadwall.
And I was we were hunting Nebraska, and I'm not going to retell this whole story because this is the hunt that almost never happened. And anybody listening to this story has already, or this podcast already heard it. But so we were hunting, and at this point in time, I had not shot a Drake Goldeneye. I'm on the end of
Talking
this.
about gadwall?
I'm on the end of this point. No, I'm going to switch. This was the hunt that I got the gadwall on.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I'm talking, like I had a chance.
I
had a
see.
gorgeous Drake Goldeneye.
Oh no.
And I'm sitting there, and on the end of this point, and up come the river channel. It's just beautiful Drake Goldeneye. I mean, it's just gorgeous. You're
Screaming.
not going to find a better one.
Oh.
And I watched him go right past. And my buddy was like, why don't you shoot that? I don't know. I literally just went and watched it right to left. Just watched it. Like I was just
You were
amazed at how
mesmerized by
good looking it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then they are. They're very good.
and it
looking
honestly
birds.
didn't occur to me to shoot it. Like it didn't. It
Well,
wasn't
and-
until he said it. I was like, I don't know why I didn't shoot that bird. That's really weird. But then later, I take like this 45, 50-yard poke at like a common merganser and wing that stupid thing. So I take a shot at that, but not
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna-
30-yard
I'm
shot
gonna
at
hit
the
this
fucking
lawn
Drake Goldeneye.
dart.
Like, what the hell's wrong with
So
me?
my the one duck that I want and I've never shot is a pintail. And we said last year, we decided we were going to take off. We're going to go see our buddies down in Stuttgart, Arkansas, Black Dog Outfitters. And then we're going to go over there and go home with one of our pro staffers in just outside of Houston, Texas. And I told my buddies, it's me and 3 guys. I said, my biggest fear is that we're going to go all the way down there. We're going to do this 3,000-mile round trip flight or round trip drive. And I said, and we're going to have a pair of pintails come in, and they're going to land in the decoys, and we are just going to whiff. And we're in Houston, Texas, and we're just watched 10,000 pintails fly over top of us. I mean, they're at 70 yards. They're touching the clouds.
9,998.
34%.
I knew that was coming.
But we watched just pintails just pile into this property that we do not have permission on. But 2 of them break off. And these 2 come in, wings locked, feet down.
2 of them break off. 9,998. Told you.
Yeah. And everybody sits up. Ba-boom, 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 boom. These 2 ducks fly off. I mean, just a big bull sprig
Oh, God.
and a hen. And we just whiff. And it was one of those, like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Like, I would have been that person in the blind that had been like, I shot that bird. I fucking shot that bird.
We all got one of those. I'm the claimer on this one for sure.
Oh, man. And it was
I've never shot a Drake pintail either. For some reason, in this state, if you shoot a pintail, it's almost always a hen. I don't know. Somebody told me, and I can't. This is again, we're talking bro science here, but someone said that the drakes migrate, like they breed and then they leave. Like they don't hang around, and that's why in the fall
they're probably trying to avoid the law after what they did to those hens.
Maybe. We didn't talk about this. The duck culture is very rapey.
Yes.
What was the fun fact? Hit him with the fun fact.
On the penis to body size, the ruddy duck has the largest penis to body size of any mammal in the world.
And
by ratio. So I called him out, like, bigger than a blue whale. He's like, by ratio. So body to penis ratio.
Body to penis size.
So in general, ducks have a super long corkscrew-like penis.
You're right. My middle name is Ruddy.
Evolutionary theory. This is like Dutch Ruddy?
Dutch Ruddy.
Wow, that derailed my train of thought right there. That's pretty impressive. That's hard to do.
Don't
picture that.
They have
really
this
hard
big,
to do.
long corkscrew
penis.
So
the evolutionary arms race. So why male ducks have this long corkscrew-like penis is because the duck culture is so rapey that the female ducks, the hens, have really long labyrinth-like ovarian tubes. So in order for them to get impregnated, the right drake, the one with the longest, most corkscrewy cock, can weave himself in. You know that old board game? I mean, you guys are probably too young for this, but there was a game. I think it was called Labyrinth.
G-spot?
My wife and I play that sometimes.
First of all, you might as well find Bigfoot. That's a myth. Everybody knows the G-spot's a myth. That's just something to sell products.
Don't tell my wife that. I'll be getting divorced next week.
So there was this game. It was like
a light bulb.
It was a wooden box, and like the top of it was a maze. And there's a hole in one corner and a hole in the other end, and there's like 2 things, and you have to rotate the top of it and make the ball move. And I think it was actually called Labyrinth. That's basically the breeding. That's basically the sexual reproduction program of ducks right there.
Yes.
Could you imagine that your penis has to go inside and then swim its way through to find, like, that sounds like too much work.
Can you imagine the epic morning wood you'd have? Like, you just wake up and you're, like, knocking the lamp over and it's like getting snagged on the overhead light. Like
your wife's like, quit stealing the blanket. I'm not.
It probably is like 34% larger than their body. Actually, I'm not even. I mean, that is the joke we've been running with. But if you think about it, if you look at like the picture,
the picture.
I mean, we actually did share dick pics earlier. There were duck dick pics, but whatever, same thing.
It wasn't a duck.
Dude, you might have the length, but we got to talk about that girth or the lack thereof.
Well, that's
but I don't care how big it is. It hurts.
That's going to be like a 24-foot long Johnson.
Yeah,
I'm knocking some shit over.
Thank you.
You are hanging the blanket from the ceiling every morning.
Our waitress walked in at the wrong time.
Good thing you said Johnson and got away from penis there.
What kind of
podcast is this guy?
And today on Hefner's podcast.
Yeah, I should have just called this the Anything Goes because that's pretty much what it is.
We've gone from football to duck hunting, kayaks, penises.
Yeah, I've had some listeners tell me, they're like, and he said that. All right, okay.
Yeah, no.
And we're
Well,
going
that's,
there.
You know, when everybody says something that's an obvious yes, they always say, does the bear shit in the woods? Does an Arab shit in the sand? Does the duck with a boner drag weeds? Yes, it does.
Is the duck's ass watertight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Absolutely. I'm offended that you don't know where those jokes came from. You're in Little Canada.
Well,
You don't watch
no, we're not in
Letterkenny?
Little Canada. We're in Ramsey.
Oh, Letterkenny?
You don't watch Letterkenny?
Letterkenny's in Canada.
I understand,
Oh.
but you don't watch it?
That's almost like another country.
Oh, my God, dude.
Kind of.
Almost.
It's
Not
a smaller
really.
wall.
It's like
you
another
can still
country
jump
there.
it.
You can get over Canada's wall.
Snow Mexicans.
Justin Trudeau is an absolute nightmare, so I say
Yeah,
don't
he
go
is.
there.
Yeah, let's build that wall.
Yeah, let's build that
We don't
wall.
want any of them snow Mexicans to come down here.
You're right.
It's ridiculous. For some reason, I got on my Facebook page, I got a ton of basically, if you send me a friend request and you're holding something dead or a fish, I'm accepting it.
That's the same thing
So,
with me.
Agreed.
You know, ISIS, if you're listening, stop sending the hot chicks and then your name is Hakeem Alum Mahada.
Yeah.
I'm not
But you go by
accepting that one.
George.
That one's a declined every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're La Pierre, but you're holding a big wall, I'm probably gonna accept that one.
Yeah.
Pierre.
But I got a ton of French Canadian people following me on Facebook. I don't know
My
why.
favorite
French Canadians.
thing is, you call Sprint or you call Verizon, and they answer the phone and they're like, "Thank you for calling Verizon Wireless. My name is George."
Yeah.
Shit, your name ain't
The
George.
fuck it is. Why we gotta start this conversation out with you lying to me?
Hey, George, I'm Daquan. How are you? How's the weather up there today, sir?
Jaqueline.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for calling.
Thank you for calling.
My
AT&T.
name is Adam. The fuck it is.
Yeah.
You said your name is Amir?
Yeah, right.
Adam. Maybe that, but yeah, it's.
Yes.
Can I talk to someone who speaks English? I don't speak English.
I speak the English just fine.
No way you don't.
I'm deaf. Can you put a sign language interpreter on, please?
Yeah. Just send this over in Braille.
Like, why don't you call
It'll
this
be
the
easier.
offensive podcast, pal?
They
Some
all
Demo-
are. They
some-
all are. Whatever.
some
This is
Democrat
not. This
somewhere-
is not a safe space.
Yeah, some Democrat somewhere is hiding under their bed right now crying.
That's
Guaranteed.
probably-
Probably jerking
They got
off,
Nancy
too.
Pelosi on the phone crying like
Listen,
a baby.
I'm my own boss. I'm my own sponsor. So
You're
if
right.
anybody's firing me, it's going to be me, and I don't
Hey.
plan on firing me anytime soon. So
I kind of pray they fire me.
let's go.
It's a long way from
Let's
home.
try.
I could have gone fishing today.
That reminds me of the walleye fingers last night.
I'm looking.
I didn't even know walleyes had fingers.
Yeah, I'm looking at the menu and I'm like, what? I fish for walleye every day. I didn't know they had fingers.
Man, buffaloes don't have wings either.
You're right. Only the wild ones.
Yeah, only the wild ones. Tame ones, they lost it 'cause they didn't need them. They don't need them to migrate anymore.
You're right.
Domesticated buffalo lost their wings.
Yeah, they started doing the caribou thing,
That's true. Yeah.
covering the whole country in 2 days. Kind of like the Somalians do.
Wow.
Oh,
Man,
Wow.
man.
He's
we
really
can say
going
that
deep.
we are from Ohio, so my main profession is I'm a nurse, and I worked at one of the
Tread-
main
tread- Cold water here.
oh we're okay.
Your
but,
boss is going to hear this.
he's a nurse too, but I worked at one of the main hospitals in downtown Columbus, Ohio, and there is a very large Somali Nepali population, same that you guys have here.
We have a very large Somalian population.
And
so
the reason for that
Thanks,
is
Chicago.
after talking to them
We don't.
is
in
when they
Chicago.
land.
Yeah, you traded these
They,
guys.
they come
Yeah.
in, they land in New York as refugees or whatever, and they are told that hey, there's a big population in Columbus, Ohio, and there's a big population in Minneapolis. And why am I going to go to Kansas
Right.
when there's nobody there? So
They're going to go
the-
to like
the population just
people.
continues to grow.
it's
and
natural.
grow
I
and
mean,
grow.
yeah, it's
So
gonna be
back
what
to
it
these
is.
duck poles.
Back to the duck
Duck
bowls.
poles.
Quickly and easily convert your standard floating decoy into a full-body decoy.
So, but what we were talking on earlier,
So that's right. You
honestly,
guys had a product.
honestly, to get back to what this podcast is supposed to be about, politics, religion, sex aside,
That's actually what this podcast is about. But yeah, you want to infiltrate it with actual shit. That's whatever.
kind of feel like I'm in a podcast with Howard Stern. So,
I ain't
but
saying nothing.
Now
I'm
I'm making it.
embarrassed.
Now I'm making it.
but they
got compared to Howard's.
Well, when we started talking about the products that we offer in the goose decoys, I meant to chime in. The cool thing about it is, for someone just starting out, like for instance, I found here in Minneapolis, most of the hunters around here they hunt water. I would say
34%.
34% of them might hunt fields.
It's amazing how we can. I mean,
Because
Really
as I
working
was
this
explaining,
joke,
what our decoys were, they would all say, I got a ton of water decoys. I don't really need any field decoys. It'd be nice to have a few, and that's where Brandon really came into play. I mean, these guys.
now they can buy water decoys and they convert to field decoys.
You're right. So, and in the
Now,
same sense,
how do you convert field decoys to water decoys?
put a piece of foam in them.
Throw
so,
them out of your boat.
so we got to talking. I mean, if you do anything, so I'm sorry, if you do any other decoy other than gym shoe, they'll float. Gym shoes will sink. They have a hole in the bottom of them. They're
And
going
a
to
hole
fill
at
with
the top.
water. But we
They're going down.
in
What
this.
about the bow? They'll sink too, right?
Yeah,
A bulk
in
of the
bulk
time.
A
quantities.
bulk of the time, okay.
They're real bulky. When you throw them in the water, they take on bulk water. And at the bottom of the river, they take up a lot of bulky space. Catfish can live in them because they're so long, like a
noodle 'em.
football.
They're very oblong. They're not a good looking
So,
decoy.
but in the same sense of things, if you try to start a field spread, everybody, I don't care who you are, you start with six to 12 mallards in the water. Everybody.
Right. Yeah.
So if you start a field spread, I personally in Ohio, I don't hunt with one duck in my spread. And I haven't. If I'm in the water and I'm hunting ducks, yes. But in a field, I kill ducks over geese.
Nick Johnson, I've had on this podcast for champion caller. He brought something up that never really thought of before, but when he brought it up, it made total sense. He's like, a hen mallard full body field decoy is the most worthless decoy ever
gone.
made. Because their
gone.
You don't
natural
see it.
paint scheme is meant to blend in.
Yeah,
It's like
you
I never
won't
really
see
thought
'em.
of that.
You wouldn't see them. So I
That's
only
brilliant.
use candidates.
It's like it's
when I
pointless.
field hunt,
because
I only
ducks will decoy.
Well, they're social
Even diver
birds.
decoys. I've had plenty of people telling me like the best diver duck spread is a large honker spread on the water.
Yeah.
They're black and white.
Yeah.
They're big. They stick
Yeah.
out.
I mean, they look like
Divers are not
They look like
picky.
oversized,
No.
oversized
Bluebills.
bluebills or oversized.
Bill Blues.
They're flying
Bill
in
Blues.
at 8.
Hey, Bill,
Mach,
we miss you here.
yeah, they're flying through at Mach 10 anyways.
You're
like
right.
they're gonna see the blue bill and know
You're
that.
right.
I mean, they're strafing your decoys. They don't usually even land. They just
Yeah, like, hey, what's this?
Can't shoot
pass,
with feet
you're
on the
pass
water.
shooting them. So
But to get back to what I was saying there, you get a field spread, and most of these guys, we get asked every day when we're coming out with field ducks, every single day. Guys believe that you do need ducks in field. So you get these guys that want to move to a field, they buy a dozen or two of what we have. And instead of going and spending $300 for field ducks, everybody has duck floaters. I don't care who you are, you got duck floaters somewhere.
yeah, if you're a
Agreed.
waterfowl
That's-
hunter,
Agreed.
chances are
That's
you got
where
a bag
these guys
somewhere.
kill it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
$40, you now have 12 field decoys mixed in with your gym shoes. I mean,
And
our companies work together great
So how
in
did
that
I
aspect.
got the gym shoot like the first time I saw it, and I know you guys get this at least 34% of the time. Are these made from recycled gym shoes?
They are
No,
not made from
absolutely
recycled gym shoes.
not.
So where
That
the
is a story.
fuck did that name
well,
come from?
That is a story the owners tell, and
And
They
tell
really
it
need
well.
to tell it.
they need to
'cause
tell
we're
it
gonna
because
s-
we're
not
going to
gonna
butcher
damn
it. We are going to butcher
so
it.
what do we got? What do I got to do to get the owners of Gym Shoe on this
We
podcast?
can
I
call
did
him
not
on the
call
phone
him.
right
Yeah.
now.
Nah, he's not going to answer right now. He's
no,
with his
but
family.
so we're gonna down there in January and do a hunt.
Yeah.
Will they be there?
Yeah, we'll make
Well,
sure
that's
they're
set
there.
Well, you're passing through Illinois
Let's
to
do
go
it.
to Ohio, so stop by and
They're
kill
from
some
Illinois.
geese.
It's
Yeah.
it is a
alright.
very interesting story. I've heard it a couple
Illinois.
times.
It is.
Illinois.
Yeah, it's a good
Illinois.
story.
But,
It's crazy
yeah, that
how
was-
Illinois people have their own accent, isn't it? Like
You know what's
No, we
crazier
don't.
about that? Fucking Iowans.
Iowans.
It's the next state south of Minnesota, right? If
Yeah.
you're familiar
You
with
betcha.
it. You know that's
Does a
right.
duck with a boner drag weeds?
Damn straight it does. Why? When you hit Des Moines, you might as well be in Alabama. Suddenly they have a southern drawl.
Oh,
Like,
hi,
oh, yeah.
sweetie.
what just happened?
Indiana,
You're in the
too.
northern half of this state,
Indiana.
of this country. Like
Southern?
what? I don't understand.
Come on, by
Come
us-
on in
by
for
us.
your sweet
You
tea,
go to
darling.
I
Indiana?
like the white the Wyatt monster drinks. The Wyatt Earp. Like,
Yes.
I haven't had that one yet. Is that like a new cowboy flavor? What's that one taste like? I don't know what.
Tastes
no,
like
I
barbecue
like
and
the
Budweiser.
I like the
Wyatt.
white ones.
And then when they they say it's slower, it doesn't help. No, the Wyatt. Yeah, you're still saying the same
Yeah.
word. It's still, there's a Y in there.
It's
I don't- what
barbecue
are
and
you-
Budweiser flavored, man.
I don't. How did that? I mean, you get. I don't understand. Like, you're not from
You
the
get
South.
into Kentucky. And
That's
it's
not
real
the.
bad.
Iowa's not the South.
Yeah. No,
No,
well,
Iowa's
there's-
north. I mean, I'm afraid they were Yankees.
There
It's
is
not the South.
there's quite a difference going from where you live in Ohio to where I live.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's
out
the
there
thing. So,
after,
like,
after you
you're-
get past all the meth pipes,
So
and you can
okay, but
understand
you're
what
like
they're
in
saying.
the same latitude as Iowa.
Yeah.
You don't have I mean, you have a little bit of a country boy accent, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't call it Southern accent.
Right.
But if you ask me to say
you go
the word
straight
dog
west.
or home, where I
Home.
don't slow down, I say, "Hey, my dog just got that."
My dog is.
My dog.
My dog.
It's
My
a
dog
little,
just
What
got
up,
there's a
dog?
little bit of it, but it's not nearly as thick
Exactly.
as Iwegians
Yeah.
have. Like
Iwegians?
it's
That's too
super-
close to Widgeon. Let's
it's
not
super
talk about that.
it's super thick. So it's like if you were to look at if you just made a map of the Southern dialect, it'd be like straight across the Mason-Dixon line, then this sharp spike all the way up into Iowa, straight back down, and then keep going.
Well, it's
And then
that.
it dead ends right at Nebraska. Because
What I like doing
Nebraska
is-
sounds like every other cowboy from New Mexico to Montana.
Yeah.
I what I like to do is go like just south of Columbus, like Grove City.
Oh,
and you get
they
them dudes in
are-
Grove City. They're like, "Yeah, me and Pop down in the woods with my truck and my dog," and I'm like, "Bud, you live 7 minutes from downtown Columbus. Pull your pants up, take them square-toed boots off, and go to work."
We done run all them dogs.
Yeah, we
Get
got my
outta here.
coon dogs out last night.
Yeah,
Me and
coon
Pops went
dogs.
down
Coon
into the
hunting.
woods.
Is that a thing here in Minnesota? Coon hunting. It
Yeah,
is a
it's
big
not-
thing.
It's not
Big thing.
Big
I'm
thing
good
in
for now,
Ohio.
thank you. It's not a big thing. People do it. It's not huge in Minnesota. There are some people that will run dogs, but it's not big.
It
It's
is
a lot
a-
of trapping. We have a ton of coon, and this is the coon that people like the fur
Yeah.
market wants. Big northern,
Yeah.
big heavies they call them. The heavy
Yeah.
coons, real nice, dark.
What about bobcats? You guys got bobcats
Oh
here?
yeah, we got bobcats up here.
Oh,
Same thing.
holy
They're the
shit.
ones. They're
You
the
need
pelts
to-
they want. We have coyotes. Same
Dude,
thing.
I didn't even show you this video. So one of our pro
And we have
staffers,
wolves. We got a shit pile of wolves here.
Wolves.
one of our pro staffers this past year was out spring turkey hunting, and the bobcat are rare in Ohio.
Yeah, I've got video of one
Are they
deer
really?
hunting one time. Yeah,
They're
I
rare?
mean,
Very
they're
rare.
starting to be more popular. Like a lot more people are getting pictures of them. I got my video 4 years ago, and when I called it in, I was only like the 9th sighting in the county. I was
Oh
like,
wow! I
So
watched one chase a red
this-
squirrel. I was out bow hunting. It was cool. One of the
That's
coolest
But
things
no,
I've ever seen.
this pro staffer that I have on our team has a bobcat damn near touch his boot.
I'd have blew its face off. Not a lot of shoot 'em in Ohio, but I would have felt
Yeah.
threatened.
No.
I could have stuck that thing to the tree, but the season wasn't open yet.
Oh, you guys
this
actually have a season
guy-
on 'em.
yeah, we
you
have
can
to-
shoot them.
Yeah, you can hunt them.
Yeah, so some people like you guys can only trap them, right?
No, Wyoming, you can only trap them. I only know that because I was on a mule deer hunt, and the guide said, hey, if you happen to see a bobcat,
Pop
you
that
can only
motherfucker.
you can only trap them here. I'm like, yeah, like I'm going to see a friggin' bobcat.
And
I wasn't
then-
in the we were tree stand hunt. I wasn't in the stand 10 minutes, and a bobcat walked
Watch,
past.
watch it down
Wow.
here by this
That's crazy.
tree root. So this,
This is exciting podcasting as we're watching.
Oh wow!
Oh, check that shit out.
yeah, literally right next to his boot.
Oh, that is a badass picture right there.
Right?
Oh, cute little kitty. So I was sitting. This is when I first got into bow hunting. I had like the
Last
old
week.
style camo jacket. You know, like the rounded edges, patchy. You know,
Oh
brown,
yeah, shoulder pads.
brown, green, black, whatever.
Never
Blue
seen those
jeans.
before. Blue jeans.
That is, hey,
But
you're
I
a
got
gym shoe
guys-
kind of guy.
You
So
are
I-
a gym
I
shoe
was-
kind of guy.
I was sitting at the
Kinda
base
where
of a
story
tree.
came from.
I was sitting at the base of a tree, bow in hand, and just trying to be still. And I'll see this cat coming out of the swamp. And I'm looking at it, and I'm hunting my buddy's property. And a cat. I don't recognize that cat. I don't know whose cat that is. And it just was not in my mind that it would be a bobcat. I'm like, what the hell's cat? And it's closer it got, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's a big cat. And I'm like, oh shit, that's a bobcat. By the time the moment I realized it was a bobcat, it's like that's when the dogfight in air quote, like it took off after a red squirrel, and it was just fucking chaos for like 5 minutes. It just up a tree, down a tree, around a tree. Shit's just flying
no
everywhere.
kidding.
So he
Cool.
goes up this tree right in front of me, about 15, 20 yards, and then the squirrel went up the tree but jumped to another tree, and he dished him. And then so the bobcat knew, like,
He's gone.
game over.
Yeah.
You win.
You won this round.
Cat and mouse,
But
you
he
win.
just hung on that tree right in front of me for like 10, 15 seconds.
He's sitting there looking at them Levi's.
he's
and
just
he's like,
like,
man, I want them Levi's.
Yeah.
That was a lot of effort for no payoff. I mean, that was kind of his thing. He was
Yeah.
like, the whole time, like, I could stick you to that tree right now, but the season is not open. And I was actually going to taxidermy school at the time, so I'm like, damn it.
I went. I was out deer hunting and I had my bow with me, and
Well, that's always good.
funny guy. So anyway, I'm standing up on top of this coal pile just to kind of get a lay of the land. It's a land that I hadn't hunted much before, so I just wanted to see, which way the ravines are running and everything like that. And had a gray squirrel just standing on a log down below, and I was like, should I shoot it? No. Yeah, no, fuck it, I'm gonna shoot it. And just throw an arrow at it, field tip, blah blah blah, and stuck this gray squirrel directly through the chest, and then hit right into the tree. And that arrow is still there to this day.
I
Like
believe
I
it. I've done
cannot
that a few
pull.
times.
I cannot
Yeah.
pull that
You
goddamn
shoot a
arrow
field
out.
tip into a tree,
It's over.
And
it's living there. That
I-
arrow now lives there.
Yeah, it is gone. And I mean, it was
10,000 years from now, some archaeologist is going to find that tree and be like, look at these primitive hunters. And
yeah, there was a
They
great
had to
battle
hunt for
here.
food. This must have been before we took all the guns away.
hunter-gatherers.
Yeah,
This was the gathering place of the smart ones.
This was before Chicago laws came across the United States. But no, I'm a decent shot with my bow. Like I'm not going to brag about that, but
world famous, world
world
champion.
Yeah, world champion.
Universal
Decent shot with
champion.
mine until I forgot to put an arrow in it when I was target practicing and dry fired it, and now my string blew up. So I got to get
Oh
that
shit!
fixed. Yeah.
Oh
That's
shit!
like
Blow up
4
your
weeks
cams too?
before. I'm hoping not. We'll find out when they put it on the press.
Bet you it crushed him. I've done
Don't
that
say-
twice.
Don't say that.
My cams look like C's.
God damn it.
The one time, I was like, I want a new Matthews bow. So Trent Cole he played for the Colts and then went to the Eagles, or the other way around. He's from Ohio, and he put on his big contest in Ohio. Who could like his page? I won. I won a brand new Matthews chiller. Comes in the mail. I'm like, man, this thing's so easy to hold. I hold it with my pinky. Dry fired it. Both cams. Instantly.
Oh.
You know what the worst part about this is that, like, so I wrote a little thing up on my page. It's like, I'm not even going to hide behind this bonehead move. I might as well just get it out there. Hopefully somebody else doesn't
Hunter
repeat my
education.
fucking mistake.
Yeah.
So how it went down is I went out and I was trying to shoot every day. Like, I told myself I'm going to shoot at least 25 arrows a day, which isn't even that many.
No, that's not bad.
So I'm like, so it was a Sunday morning. We were getting ready to go somewhere. I had a lot on my mind, some business stuff, some family stuff. I was just really distracted. So I get out there and I'm missing. I'm missing bad, but I'm consistently missing. Like if I was just going to take a picture of the grouping, but like that's pretty impressive.
Right.
Except I wasn't aiming there. So I'm like, something fundamentally is wrong. Like I'm not doing something. I'm doing the same thing wrong every time.
Yeah.
So I got to figure that out.
Pulling to
So
the
I'm like,
face, or
I'm like, all right, let's just reset. Stand there, take a deep breath. All right. Legs, shoulder length apart. Get my hand at the right angle, palm, handle. Clip it on there. Come to full draw. Got my anchor. Everything's great. Yep. Feel it here. Set
Pop.
my pin. Keep my breathing under control. Wait till that pin settles. Touch that trigger. Clang. Never put a fucking arrow in there.
Oh
man.
God.
I was so concentrated. I was like so distracted, but yet trying to focus on my form. Missed like the most important fucking part and just never knocked
is
an
the
arrow.
key to bow
just
hunting,
never
have an
knocked an
arrow.
arrow, right?
It's
You
almost
think?
as important.
Yeah,
think so?
it really helps.
Yeah.
That's
does.
basically going deer hunting without your bow.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
most important is going with your
Pretty
bow.
much.
34% of the
is that?
time,
Yeah.
you're
Why
going to
is
have
it
more
so
success.
bad? That arrow doesn't weigh that much. Why is it so?
It's the resistance against the springs. So when you're coming forward,
I mean, I have a fall away rest. What fucking resistance?
No.
right? Well, it's the weight
you're
on the
making-
string.
I mean, I
It's
I-
slowing the kinetic
I get
energy
it,
of the string.
but I don't get it. I get
Yeah,
like,
you're right. It's stupid.
You know what I mean? Like
It's absolutely
Yeah.
stupid
the fact
that does that
with an
much
arrow,
damage.
It works perfectly. Without this super light ass fucking arrow,
110
all hell
grand,
breaks
yeah,
fucking loose.
Because the
you're-
energy has to go somewhere.
And
if
your
it doesn't
still
go,
doesn't
if
seem. It
it's- the
still
energy's
doesn't
not
seem
released
like
forward,
it should be that bad, but it is.
You guys ever seen the video of that guy? He's like trying to show off for his girlfriend. Pulls the bow back and he puts his head in it, snaps back, and he takes the slide right in the ear hole.
Ouch!
Oh.
Fucking ow!
Like, there you
Well,
go.
you deserved it for one. 'Cause
Yeah,
you,
don't be a dumbass.
All right.
First off,
Well, that
I
was
was a
me in the
dumbass,
video.
but yeah. So, moral of the story is, don't shoot your bow if you're not focused.
Shouldn't
Because
Harold
it's going to be
handle
potentially expensive. It's going to be at least as expensive as a new string, but
a
it could
couple $100
potentially
bucks,
be even more.
You
Yeah.
should never shoot anything that has the possibility to hurt somebody. Not focused.
oh, thank you,
Bows-
Mother Teresa.
Bows are just important as weapons.
It is a weapon.
Well, here's
How
the
is
thing.
that not a weapon?
I meant a gun. Sorry.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, the thing that, like, I lived with my grandma for years, and she told me, a car is a loaded handgun.
You're right.
And if you're not focused when you're driving your car,
100%.
you're going to cause just
That's why
as
we
much
have
damage.
this distracted driving. I mean, Minnesota just became a hands-free state,
We don't have that.
so now you even just to talk, you got to use Bluetooth or a
Yeah.
headset or something.
Yeah.
So,
so
but
then
that
you
also
have-
couples with in Minnesota, you can only if you're using a headset, it can only have one ear. Can't be.
Well, you don't want to block out the siren.
Yeah, you got to be able to hear sirens. So
We
that's
don't
been
have
on the
that.
that's been on the
I'm-
books.
we don't
That's
have
been on
that.
the books for a long time. Like you can have one head. Like
And
if
I'm
your
okay
radio's
with that.
broken, you want to listen to your headphones, you can, but you can only have one
Right.
ear covered.
But
But that
yeah.
couples with the hands-free thing. So you got
Yeah, and I'm perfectly fine with that because,
You can
There-
still eat
Because
your
you've
big. You can
seen-
still eat your Big Mac.
I
and
can only
steer with your
imagine
knee.
what you've
That's
seen
fine.
come into the ER.
well,
from
no, it's not even
distracted
through the
driving,
ER
right.
because my most recent job was through a mobile intensive care unit. So I take these patients out of hospitals that are dead or dying or trying to die on you, and
Trying
they
to
have
die.
Nobody's trying to die.
oh no,
Some
they're
people
all
are.
they really are. And you have, you're on life support, and I have 7 IV drips, and I have tubes coming out of your chest, and every orifice that we can. And we throw our
Orifice.
we throw our lights and sirens on, and we're running down I-70 at 85, 90 miles an hour, and you have this person just riding in front of you, and they have their earphones in. They don't give
Just
a fuck.
going.
They're there.
The good news is in Ohio, you get some serious trouble for ignoring emergency signals like that. Serious
do.
trouble.
Same thing. I think this is probably nationwide too, and still so many people don't do it. But you're supposed to get over in that lane.
To the
Yeah.
right.
light.
To
Yeah.
the
Get
right.
over to
we
the
had
right.
just a few months ago, we had 2 state troopers
I remember
die
this.
a day apart from each other.
Yeah.
Because of that. They
Well,
were on the
ours
side,
in here
no
is
one
like to
moved
the
over.
left, or whatever lane the emergency vehicle is in. Because generally in Minnesota, at least, they pull you over on the right.
Yes.
So you got to get in the far left lane.
Yes.
One lane away. Because I mean, we have some freeways that are 3, 4,
Yeah.
even whatever 5 lanes wide at times. So just you got to give them a lane
Right.
Right.
if you can. If it's rush hour traffic,
Slow
obviously
down.
You can't because you just.
Slow down or pull over. Or move over. Slow down and move over.
It's usually when they have somebody pulled over, you got to
Yes.
give them that lane.
Yeah, I
So
remember
that's
that
all
was
good.
during the Indiana show.
It
Yeah,
happens
that's
here
right.
all the
Yeah.
time too. People, I mean, they take out.
Yeah, no.
I think everybody's seen those videos where troopers almost get wiped out, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh.
Well, you don't
shit.
see the videos of the troopers
Oh, the ones that
getting
do
wiped
get
out
hit,
because
They
we
died.
live in this very sensitive culture now, and we're not going to show any death
Dude,
or dying.
and this is let's open a can of worms here, but I was looking at Instagram today, and it was you have the sensitive it's all blurred out.
Yeah.
It's like sensitive content. Click here to see it. I clicked on it. You know what the fuck it was? It was a chick who had caught a muskie, and she was pulling into the boat.
That's not. That's
Fuck sensitive about that.
Yeah.
It's fishing.
The only
That
thing I could
happens.
think of is that you could kind of see the gills a little bit, and
And
so
they're
somebody
bleeding.
who didn't know what the fuck they were looking
Oh.
at saw that they were red, maybe
Oh,
thought it was a
oh
fish
my
bleeding,
God.
and
Oh
then
my
reported
God. Yeah. And if
Could
you don't
you-
do
it. How
that,
the fuck is that sensitive content?
You're right. Did you see the
Jesus
video
Christ.
where the guy's fishing on the bridge, and he's got his fish in like a pail,
Oh,
and
and the
he's-
guy goes and sets it free or whatever.
and
that
goes and throws it back?
nut job.
I'd have punched him straight in the
I'd have
fucking
thrown that
throat.
motherfucker right over the bridge. Sorry
Yeah,
for
you
my
know what
language.
the worst part about that is that you'd be the one charged
In
with
trouble.
assault.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would deserve it.
I
at
think
that
the guy in
point.
that video did it the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, call the cops, get him out there, and because that guy ended up getting a ticket. 'Cause
Yeah.
we have hunter and
Harassment.
angler harassment laws for a reason.
I agree.
You're not breaking the law. You just because you have some Disneyfied fucking mentality
Well,
of how
fish feel
nature
pain.
works. Fish are not food.
They're friends.
Yeah, fish are friends.
Friends,
Not
fish are
food.
friends, not food.
You're
Yeah,
right.
no, fish taste
That's
delicious.
what we're indoctrinating our kids with. You watch them
You're right.
goddamn
Fish are
cartoons.
friends,
Yeah.
not food. But you also need to teach them just keep swimming.
You know what?
Swim right past that
you know
shit
what
and
also
ignore
doesn't
it.
fucking grow in the ocean? Lettuce. So what's that shark supposed to fucking eat?
You're right.
Yeah, you know,
Fish eat other fucking fish.
my dinner consists of what a vegan, like my dinner eats your
dinner. Yeah, yeah.
You know, like
Here's another fun fact. You know, majority, and way more than 34% of
Ooh.
the sand on a beach is parrotfish poop.
43%.
Because parrotfish eat coral heads, and when they shit out, they obviously don't process that calcium. It just comes out, and they crunch it all up. Comes out as little bits of
good to
crushed
know.
coral.
so.
So
I
you're
ain't licking the
walking,
sand
when you
anymore.
go to the beach and you lay on the beach, you're having sex on the beach, you're having sex on parrotfish shit.
What's the white stuff in bird shit? Oh, it's
No idea.
shit.
It's just shit.
It's
just
shit.
white.
It's
Yeah.
shit. White shit. White shit.
It's white shit. So no, on the way in, so we had a 12.5-hour drive in from
You
Ohio.
had a
I
12
had a 12.5-hour
I had a
drive
2-hour flight.
in. And I listened to
That guy's
the old.
smarter.
He didn't have to pull a trailer.
Hook the trailer to the plane, pal. Put it in the stairway.
But so I was listening to the Meat Eater with Tom Ranelli, his podcast and things like that.
Steve
And-
Ranella?
Yes.
Steve Ranella.
What'd you
Yes.
call it? Tom Ranelli? Is that like the
Who
Italian?
the fuck is that?
I don't know, man. I mean,
Maybe.
I like to eat the meat.
Yes,
I'm of the-
put the
I like-
pepperoni on the
if you-
sausage.
I
And
like-
you have to put your fingers together
Yes.
and hold it up when
Yeah.
you talk
If you're listening,
Italian.
you gotta know.
You gotta
how to
do it.
Regardless.
I like the
Meat
eye
Eater
fat at the
guy.
caribou.
So I have never been a podcast kind of person until the ride in. But
today.
huh?
And today.
And today.
You are
and
official-
today.
did I break podcast cherries again
Yeah.
today?
Yes, you
Dude,
did.
I'm on
Sure
an
did.
epic roll with this. break.
You're
did, and I'm
doing
bleeding.
very well.
Doing good.
Love
it.
So we were talking about sand dunes and things like that, and you know how you have mice and Midwestern mice.
Oh,
are
I
going to
heard
be
this one. This is very. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you have
This is-
Midwestern mice,
yeah.
and they're
Yep.
usually a brown in color. Well, the owls over time have they have come to just pretty much extinguish any white mice because you have a brown mice on a brown
White mouse on a brown background.
Yeah, a white mouse on a brown background, such as your leaves and things like that, they're going to pick those out 9 times out of 10. But then they take the same mice and they recreate this entire scenario where they have these white mice on sand dunes and things like that. And these owls are there. They can't find those white mice. So they're going in. They're starting to pick off all of the brown
now
mice.
they're jacking the dark ones.
Yeah.
And this wasn't an experiment that scientists did. This is just an area of the country that
Nature.
because of these white sands, over
Yeah.
time, you go out that area. This is the same species.
Same
And I
exact
remember
species.
they
Genetic
never answered this
mutation.
one. So Steve was about to ask about the Linnaean nomenclature, if they had the same. So if they were treating them as a separate subspecies, or if they were the same species, but he got cut off and they never went back to it.
Right.
Um,
Right.
But I believe that they're the exact same species of mice, but in
Different
that
colors.
area, they're different colors. But that is how you break off. That's how evolution works. That's how you
Yes.
get different subspecies. Because if
And-
that takes place for a long enough period of time, the genetic gap will widen.
And you know what scares the shit out of me? We're the lesser side in the humans. I hate to say
Speak
it.
for yourself, bro.
No, listen.
Yeah.
What I
You see
mean,
my roadie
I
duck
hate to
penis?
see it in 100 years. I hate to say it, but the country is going to be full of the millennial mentality. It's only going to get worse.
What it does,
Yes
though,
and
is you're going to see a greater gap between like haves and have-nots. Like the people, there's still even in your generation, your horse shit generation.
I fucking get it, bud. If
But
I
listen,
could switch to
you're
Gen X, I
you're
would.
not even as bad as the current one coming up.
No, the current one coming up
This
is
is the worst.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, though.
But
Fortnite.
then guess what the
Fortnite.
next one after that's going to be?
That's
even
what I'm saying.
fucking
It's
worse.
only going to keep getting worse. And
Yeah.
in 100 years, when we're all dead,
Well-
what kind of world are we leaving?
There's going to be some cataclysmic events going to wipe us out, set us back to hunters and gatherers, and then it's going to be people that know how to actually find food in the wild. They're going to be the kings.
Well,
of the world.
that was part of the.
It's going to happen. It happened before. It's going to happen again.
The
It's
opening,
inevitable.
the opening part of that podcast, which I think was called antlers, animal weapons, something,
Animal
something.
weapons, I think. Yeah.
But that was World War III. It doesn't matter what the weapons are in World War III, but World War IV will be shot. Will be completed with sticks and stones. because there will be some
However,
type of.
and I'm so glad you brought this up because when I listened to that episode, I'm like, I actually disagree with that statement. So that was an Einstein quote.
That was.
And so Einstein, he said, I don't know how World War III will be fought, but I know that World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yes.
That's not true. And I'm going to tell you why it's not true.
Or
Because
learn me.
what he was saying is that World War III is going to be so drastic that it wipes out almost everybody, so we're back to hunters and gatherers. When you're back to hunters and gatherers, there isn't going to be a world war.
You're right.
Until we get to the technological advancement again, where we can now travel the world and interact with peoples across the world to get in a world war.
You're right.
We're going to have more advanced weapons at that point in time. So, no, it will not be fought with sticks and stones. It's going to be fought with muskets.
fought with muskets.
Take that, Einstein.
No, it does make very
Fuck
good
you,
sense.
Einstein.
Yeah,
And
what
we
a
had,
moron.
we had this
Comb your
talk,
hair.
and we had this talk, with just the social media outreach over the last 50 years, 150 years.
I'm good.
So
We're
when
good. Ooh, I almost dropped it. I still got a couple swallows. I'm good.
sorry. So
Are you closing out?
I'm sorry, yes, I'm done for
Okay.
tonight. Is it okay if I
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
So when Abraham Lincoln was then elected into president in 1861 or whatever year it was,
7 years ago about.
yeah, it's pretty much.
34% of the time.
But the people in New
I
York,
knew that. Now it's becoming obvious.
the people in New York hadn't known at that moment, like, hey, Abraham Lincoln won. People in California took 3, 4, 5, 7 weeks.
Figure it out.
yeah, but
To figure it
the people
out.
in Nebraska were celebrating.
Were they?
Yeah, it was
Do
Land
you
of Lincoln, pal.
Yeah, but did they know at that moment?
He
Well,
picked
now we
up-
It
have.
wasn't land
Buddy
of the
picked
Lincoln
up-
at that time.
Picked up his iPhone.
Oh yeah, and see, and that's the
Called
thing,
Betsy
with-
Ross.
it.
and that's
Yeah,
right
hashtag.
now. Right now in today's technology, we know when
Instant.
Donald Trump takes a shit, or
Well, that's because he tells everybody.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
That's true.
but
I
you
gotta know about what my
oh my
president
God, the president hasn't taken a
Just
shit in
dropped the
3
monster
days.
deuce. Still smarter than AOC.
Yeah.
Something
Well, it's
like
true.
But the shit in the
So
toilet
is
is
the
smarter than AOC. I mean, that lady
But
off
that
her
is
goddamn
that has
rocker.
come to at what point does
She is something else.
technology?
No,
what point
buddy,
does
you guys aren't
technology
much better.
really-
With Ileana Malala.
Trust me, I know.
You probably
Just
voted
like the
for
Viking thing, I know. My state, bro. You don't have to remind me. I
I'm
know.
from Illinois.
her. What
boys,
about that
so-
woman? What about
I
the
know.
woman running against her?
Yeah, we had your guy was our president for a few years.
Mm.
Yeah. that's
Thanks
true.
for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, right out of your
No, he
fucking
was-
shithole town.
Hope and change.
He was Kenyan.
He was Hawaiian.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, the best thing about Obama, in my opinion,
Is
and I
he's
don't like
gone.
to get too
Is that he's
political on this,
gone?
is that he didn't really do a lot.
He didn't do nothing.
He didn't really do a lot. I
No.
mean, and in
He
my
started-
opinion,
Agree
the
to
best
disagree.
presidents don't do a lot because they just
If you're
fuck with
if
shit.
you're putting best president and Obama in the same category, I'm
No,
walking
I'm
the
not.
fuck out of here right now. I can't
I did
handle
vote
that.
for him.
My heart would explode. I said something.
I
Like
just don't
No,
have.
he made
I don't have a lot
so
of.
many.
I don't have a lot of faith in whoever takes that off.
Agreed. And
Because there's so many other wheels spinning, so many other shit going on.
puppets.
But
that
it
it's
doesn't.
just not.
It
It's-
doesn't actually fall onto the president. It falls onto the House, and it falls onto the Senate, and he can only do
Like I equally agree. Like
the Affordable Care Act as a nurse.
yeah, that was terrible.
Dumber than fuck.
Stupid.
Dumber than fuck.
Yeah, my own thing. Like, and now we're putting universal health care. Here's the thing. We'll get a little political here, just because
We've been
can.
political
Oh, we
all
got
night.
we got music starting here. We'll get close to wrap this up. So here's
Thank
my
you.
take on this. Here's what I want to know why nobody is talking about. I do believe that this nation is great enough and is wealthy enough that we probably could
Jim
have
Harris.
free health care for all. But it can't just be an open checkbook. It
Agreed.
can't just be we're covering it. Why is our health care so expensive? We have an unchecked industry right now with health care. From hospital. If you just call around, you could do this experiment tomorrow. Call around, say I'm not insured, I'm paying out of pocket for this knee surgery. How much is a knee reconstruction surgery? You are going to get however many hospitals you call, that number, different prices.
Every bit of it.
It's arbitrary. They just like, 33 grand sounds like a good number.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's not following any industry. There's no like cost analysis.
Industry
there's no
standards.
like
There are
they're
no
just-
industry
There's no
standards.
industry. They're just literally picking a number.
Well,
And here's the other problem. Once you have guaranteed money, they're going to raise their prices.
You're right.
That you can look in history for that. Same thing with health with
Oh,
free
yeah.
tuition. You want to talk about free tuition? I might be able to get on board with that, but only if we regulate why our universities so fucking expensive.
It's a monopoly.
As soon as
in both,
Nixon,
in both
as
scenarios.
soon as Nixon passed getting guaranteed student loans on a federal level, that's when it started to climb.
And
as soon as
here's-
you have guaranteed money to any industry,
Yeah.
that industry is going to push that dollar amount up and up and up and up and up and up.
Oh,
and
every
up.
bit of it.
Because it's no longer being driven by the market. It's no longer being driven by the consumers.
No.
The consumers have been taken out of it. The government's opening the checkbook. It's like, well,
They're-
if this is guaranteed money,
Yeah.
we
It's
might
no
as well
different.
last for as much as we can.
It's no
Yeah.
different in my industry if a tornado comes through and rips your deck off your house. If I'm giving you the cost, it's $25 a square foot. If I'm giving the insurance company the cost, I mean,
Exactly,
it's
it's the
whatever
same thing.
the problem is in my industry.
And I
the
don't agree with
insurance,
that either. I think
the
that's some
insurance
bullshit.
company tells you what they're willing to pay. I don't have to give them a bid. I don't have to give them a bid because the insurance company is going to call me and say, "Oh well, you know, other people have given us bids and we're paying them $50 a square foot, so that's what we're going to pay you. That's double my price." Now, am I going to say, "Nah, you better only pay me 25"?
Yeah, don't pay me that much.
Yeah, no.
Get
but
outta
it's
here.
it's
Right, yeah,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And the problem with the scenario Nixon passed is the government is more than willing to give you $200,000 to go to school and never be able to pay it back, but you can't go get a $10,000 loan to start a business.
Well, and the other bullshit part is that student loan, you can't claim bankruptcy on it.
Right.
That's you're 18 years old making decisions you have no business making for the rest of your fucking life, and you're stuck with it.
Yep.
Every bit
Because
of it.
you wanted to go to Harvard to be an underwater basket weaving professor.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And
but
then
it's-
Longaberger went out of business.
I mean, it's stupid. So again, going back to my original point, like, I could be on board for healthcare for all. I could be on board for free tuition, but only
Controlled.
if you first solve the problem of why it's so fucking expensive in the first place.
Yeah. Right.
You solve that, I 100% think this country has enough money.
Agree.
You're right.
But they're not doing it, and nobody's fucking talking about it.
Oh, I would.
They're just going to open the fucking checkbook. What do you think's going to happen? It's going to go even higher.
The same exact
So the
reason-
next generation, you're passing on an even bigger burden to the next
Right.
to the
That's
next
why
generation.
you just legalize medical marijuana and you tax the shit out of it and you pour yourself
Bro,
out.
legalize all of it.
Well, in
And
Ohio,
all of
it was
Don't
accidentally.
legalize all of it.
All of it.
Heroin?
They're doing it anyways. Listen, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Meth has been very illegal for a very long fucking time, and that problem continues to grow. So
I
why
agree.
not try? Why not try it?
Listen-
Why not legalize everything? You tax it. You could have anonymous rehabilitation. Is that the right word? No.
Rehabilitation works.
Okay, whatever. You go get clean. Rehab.
Right.
Yeah, rehabilitation. I guess all right. So you go free rehab clinics all around the country, completely anonymous. Check yourself in, check yourself out. And that would be paid for by the taxes of all these drugs. You want to go to Walgreens and get your fucking meth, you go to Walgreens and get your meth.
So, and if you think about it, and during the alcohol coalition, when they banned alcohol throughout the states, look at how, I mean,
Thank
everybody was drinking. You know, you read the history books and you learn about it. When they banned it, it was a need. So I think you're right. You know, you legalize all this shit. And what does it matter? You legalize all this shit, prison population goes down 80%.
Well,
There'll only be 34% of prisoners left. But
no, I mean, meth is shitty, heroin's shitty, all that shit. But, I mean, our opiate crisis,
But if you
coming from
legalize
pain
it,
pills and everything else.
it would go down. I guarantee it.
it probably would. You're gonna
People
see, you're
only
gonna
do
have,
it because it's illegal. Like
Yeah,
they get
but
their
when you
high
have-
off.
I don't think that
When you
that's
have that
the
heroin
only reason
act-
people do it. But there is generally a subset section of the population that definitely does it because they're not supposed to.
When you have
you're
that
always
person-
going to have that. But
Here's the thing.
even
But
if
what
it's
are,
legal,
what are
you're
your
gonna have
costs
people that
related
do
to?
it.
Say you have that heroin addict that, you know, he shoots up, you know, black tar heroin. He jumps in his car and he just takes out a fucking bus full of, you know, churchgoers.
The
But aren't they
difference-
doing
what's
that
the-
already?
What's
I mean,
the difference?
That's kind of the
They
point.
do that. They do
What's
that
the difference in the
already.
guy that legally goes to the bar, gets drunk, and on his way home kills a mom and kid because he drove drunk? What's the difference?
I mean, I just the marijuana, fine with legalize that shit. But the heroin,
it's-
the meth, the
No
cocaine.
pun intended. It's a hard pill to swallow. Like,
Yeah.
like legalizing all drugs, I
That's why
get
they
it.
sniff it.
Like that's or shoot it. That's a hard. I mean that's
No, I
that's a
just-
tough concept to grasp. But I feel like
For the
as a grown
economy?
adult, as an adult person, you should have the inherent right to manage your own body.
But it's
And
survival
if
of the
that
fittest.
means your right to protect yourself when it as it pertains to the Second Amendment, you have a right to protect yourself. If my life's in danger, I don't need you to tell me it's okay to defend to protect my life.
If a tiger gets in danger, it attacks, and it kills whatever's attacking it.
Why? If I want to take myself out by drinking Drano, who's the government to say I can't do that?
You're right.
Well, you can. You still.
Some asshole in an ambulance is trying to save you, but you can
or whether
do it.
it's whatever. Once you take that out into public, like, and I'm like, if this is even possible, I'm like an extreme libertarian. So it's like if you, I don't care what you do. I really don't
It's
care
your
what
life.
your hobbies are. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you consume. It's only until what your choices do
Affects me.
affect somebody else.
Right.
So if you take meth, if you shoot up this, you shoot up that, or whatever, or you take a gun and you go out with ill will to shoot somebody else, you have crossed. You have
Agreed. 100%.
went way over that line from
100%.
personal liberty to affecting everybody else's personal liberty of life, pursuit, of happiness.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. Like, it's not stopping him. It's as illegal as it can possibly be, and the problem is growing.
Well, that's your gun laws in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a perfect analogy.
We have the highest. You have the highest gun
Yeah,
laws.
way to go, jackass.
And
Chicago.
you have the highest
pal.
murder rate.
If you're in Chicago listening to this, we apologize, but fucking
didn't do
Chicago.
it.
Well, someone's got to be to blame. You're the only one here from Chicago, so I
True.
guess it's you.
But yeah, then you have those people that say, "Oh, it's not Chicago's fault; it's Gary, Indiana's," because they can just drive over
my
the border
God.
to
Probably
Gary.
Maybe Illinois
I've been to
people are
Gary,
just a
Indiana.
better
It's a
shot.
shithole.
Yeah.
We just hit what we're aiming at.
It's possible. It could be.
Ohio, they
So,
do just
Gun
No, I
control's
agree.
having
I
two
just
hands on it,
miss-
right?
When you go back into the
We're
drugs and
gonna
everything.
get the story of how you hurt your ring finger on your.
Oh,
but
he shoved it up his
tendonitis.
ass.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
he's
tendonitis.
kind of a anal fingerer.
Wow. Wow.
Maybe later if you want to try it.
Hey,
All right. Well,
sign
hey,
me up. Keep the
like I
splint
said,
on.
I'm an extreme libertarian. Whatever you guys want to do at your own time, as long as this is a consensual an agreement.
No,
I'm
we're
not
gonna
here to
take-
judge.
They
We're
don't
gonna-
call
we're
me
gonna
Duck for nothing.
Yeah, we're going to totally
I'm
duck
not here to
this.
judge. I mean, I am judging you, but that's not why I'm here.
Well, yes, of course.
That's not why I'm doing it. But
So no, I have no idea. Woke up one day, it hurt, and
Yeah.
it just keeps getting worse every day and every day.
But
So-
that's a weird finger to like. There's no.
So
like,
I go to the
repetitive
hospital.
injury there.
So this morning, like it was real bad. Like it was unbearable. So I go to the hospital this morning before these guys wake up. The lady says, "Well, do you use your hands a lot?" No, I use my feet.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, right. Nah, as little as possible.
but you're right. You know, I'm a builder, swing a hammer, use nail guns all day. But what the hell does my ring finger have to do
Yeah.
with that?
How
Like
often
my
do you
index
use
finger, my
that?
thumb, even my middle finger. But I'm not holding nails between my
Right.
ring finger and my fucking pinky.
That's crazy.
But
Well, we're getting music's gonna start bleeding. Let's wrap this. We are over 2 hours anyway, so that was
Hey.
pretty fun. We did good. You guys did good. This was pretty good.
It's kinda
You even
crazy.
said things.
I even said a few things.
That's
yeah.
pretty.
it's kind of crazy. Somebody's gonna sit down and listen to this whole fucking thing.
They will.
Maybe.
I promise you, they will.
Maybe. Hopefully.
No, I promise
Brandon
you, they
will on his
will.
way home. He's got a 12-hour drive.
I have
What else
12
the fuck you
12
gonna
and a
do?
half
You might
hour
as well
drive,
just
yes.
download all Full Scale's
I
catalog
already
up
got
to this
them.
point.
Already got
You're
them.
good.
We're
There's some good ones
subscribed.
in there. The Joe,
This
you'll
is-
like the Joe Heinz and Nick Johnson one. The one on
Okay.
there together. I have them both individually, but then we have one together. That one's pretty good.
All right, I'm just
Yeah.
going to go ahead and add that to
Yeah,
the
that
queue
was-
list.
So
was
you,
pretty good.
but anyways, so just to wrap it up, you know, we duck hunting and hunting in general. We kind of touched on this multiple times. Hunting in general is just going the wrong direction. It's a monetary. It's becoming a rich man's sport. I don't care if you're hunting rabbits or if you're hunting buffalo, and it's crazy. It's
It's
absolutely
as
crazy.
expensive as you want it to be.
Right.
You know, but there's that keeping up with the Joneses aspect
You're
of it.
right.
It's like you feel like a lesser hunter if you don't have the biggest and best. Because
Well,
you're
and-
looking on social media, this guy's got this decoy, and this guy's got this decoy.
You're right.
I got to have that decoy.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. You don't have to do that. And like we said earlier, like you can use black and white blocks
Right.
and still kill geese.
Right,
if
put
you
trash
wanna
bags
do it.
on sticks, you know.
If you wanna do it.
If you're where the geese want to be, you can sit out there and naked. They're
Without-
But
not
even
without
then,
a
people
decoy.
bitch that like big thing here is like leases. People are like, we
Well-
can't get on any good fields because all the shit's leased. That is bullshit. I hunt on non-leased stuff all the time.
Well, and that's true, but as a hunter and as a conservationist, as we are, the leasing thing is bullshit. The way that is moving, what
I
happened to them?
disagree. If they're unless you want to do away with guiding, because if you want to run an outfitter, you can't leave. You've got clients booking out in advance. You can't leave the chance if you're going to get permission for that field or not.
And I
It's
understand
only
that.
good business to lock that stuff up with an open
But
checkbook.
around Craig and around me, that it gets really abused. You know, a guy watches a father and son hunt a field that they've hunted their whole life. The second they pull out, he goes to the farmer and offers him $5,000. That's bullshit. It shouldn't be a money. The Indians didn't have to pay to go out and shoot deer. They walked out on any piece of property that had woods on it, and they shot a deer.
Yeah, they scalp women too.
There was actually a guy that was scalped and lived, so it's okay.
I mean,
Yeah, we covered that last
We
night.
covered
we did cover that last night.
But
We
at
were
the
solving
end
all
of the
those
day, I guess the
problems.
point that I'm making is,
I mean,
as everything moves towards the bigger and the better, $10,000 to duck hunt, that's where we really shine. You know, we want to give the younger generation, or even, I mean, the less fortunate, you know, a guy that goes out and works 40 hours a week, only makes $10 an hour, but loves duck hunting.
Yeah.
He can't afford an $800 a dozen
get
set of
buddies to
decoys.
go in on it.
Right. I mean, you
Get
got to
buddies,
answer
that's
for
thing to do.
everything.
But you don't have to. I mean, the point is, I mean, I'm on your side. You don't have to have DSDs.
You're
You
right.
You don't
You're right.
have
And
to.
that's-
I mean,
that's where
I
our
get, I
products-
get we're driven by social media. Everybody's addicted to their phones. They're looking at all this stuff. Listen, you don't have to. If money is a barrier for you, there's definitely ways around it. Don't let that be a barrier for you for getting into the sport.
Right.
You know, go out,
Agreed.
buy
Agreed.
used ones on Craigslist if you can.
Find a buddy.
like
I
most-
always
find-
take people hunting.
Dude, same here.
Just,
Yeah.
just
I mean,
find a
obviously
buddy.
I can't take everybody and their brother hunting, but if I have an open seat,
Well, and that's
I'm
you
not
know.
gonna, you know.
So this
come on.
I will teach
Come on
everybody
with
in
it.
the world how to hunt like I do. I got no problem doing
And-
that.
Yeah.
You know, as a hunter, you get to that point that, you know, you want to go out and you want to shoot limits. Well, at first you want to go out, you want to shoot a bird, and then you want to go out and you want to shoot your limits, and then you want to go out and you want to shoot limits for multiple people, and then you want to go out and if you don't fire your gun.
Yeah,
don't
there's
watch
a nat-
other people
There's a
enjoy
natural
this.
progression of the hunter, and there's been
Like-
a lot of articles written on
Yeah.
that. And that's pretty true.
Yeah, and that's
And I'm kind of getting to that point too, where it's like I like seeing other people have fun. I mean, that's why I got into guiding fishing, and you know, and
Yeah,
I guide
that's-
goose hunts now too. It's like I don't need to pull the trigger.
Right.
And
I mean,
that's the last.
I'm not gonna say I don't enjoy it. I'm not. I mean, I still obviously I
course.
still enjoy it,
You want
but
to see a bag of
it's
concrete fall
greater
from the sky.
seeing that new hunter.
The excitement on their face that they get with
they
that.
get their first
You're right.
band or their first mallard or their first, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like
Introducing
awesome.
somebody to this sport
And that was
means more to me than shooting any bird that's out there.
And that was the
Yeah.
last 12 months of of
everybody-
us.
and everybody's
we did
doing it.
wounded warrior hunt, not wounded warrior, but freedom hunters. We did freedom hunter hunts. I took out probably 5 or 6 young guys that have never waterfowl hunted, and we hunt my decoys and everything, and they come out and they're blown away. They
Amazed.
see ducks work, and they see geese work, and
right.
the one guy, the one kid, like I have a bunch of decoys sitting in my shed, and I just told him, I said, "You want them? Come get them."
Yeah, I did a post. I think it was last year. I just had a box of random duck floaters that I just wasn't using anymore, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get rid of these.
Yeah,
And I just put a post in there. I'm like, hey, anybody's got a kid that wants to get into it?
a
This is
kid.
free.
That's the thing. It's bringing
Free
the
to
kid back
the
out.
first kid that wants this stuff.
Right. And that's
somebody
awesome,
answered
yeah.
it, and I ferreted it out, make sure it wasn't just somebody lying that they had
Yeah,
a kid or
I
whatever.
have the
And then,
17-year-old.
and I dropped them off. I mean, there was 2.5 dozen at least in there.
Yeah,
couple $100 worth of decoys.
Yeah.
You made
Well,
somebody's day.
when you got into duck hunting, you probably started just like everybody else did. You start with you buying the
I literally had 4 mallard decoys, like Remington ones I bought singly from Fleet Farm here.
yeah,
and
but you
2
buy the
wood duck
quantity.
decoys.
You buy the quantity first, and then you start buying the quality, and you
Well,
start
I started with
upgrading.
I didn't
Flambeau's
buy
door
either.
fronts.
I bought 6 of the shitty ones.
Yeah, you buy 6 of the shitty ones, and then you buy another
Yeah.
6 of non-shitty, and then
Right,
you buy another
yeah.
6. Yeah,
It's progression.
It's
And
a-
get some
you still
buddies.
have all
he
of
buys
these-
6 and you buy 6, and you got 4 guys.
See.
Now you got 2 dozen.
Problem is, my buddies are like, "Hey, Corey, we need some more decoys."
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
well,
Yeah,
that
no,
is how it
No,
is.
my buddies are great. If they can't contribute monetarily,
they're
they'll
going
go
to set that
scout.
goddamn field
Yeah.
up.
they'll scout.
And I
They'll
honest-
stuff
I-
blind.
This
and-
isn't bullshit. I mean, I honestly like the way that the Jim Shoe decoys work. I like the lightweight. So I'm gonna get some. We're gonna try them out.
Yeah.
Why not? I'll pick some
and,
up.
and then we'll do another podcast after you use them, and you can have some input.
There you go.
I agree.
I'll do.
I agree.
I'll
Well,
give you.
hey,
I'll give you an honest. I ain't gonna blow smoke up your ass. I'll give you an honest opinion of 'em. If
Yeah.
there's something I don't like about them, I'll tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And
just
I
how.
I
That's how I
haven't-
am.
I have
mean,
not met somebody
Appreciate
yet
it.
that has bought them and not liked them.
I can't imagine. I mean, just playing with them just a little bit today, it was like there wasn't anything glaring that stuck out that I didn't. My first thought was, how are these going to act in 20 below zero? And you're like, you gave me an example. They're just fine. They pop right out.
I mean, and then
we'll see.
You store them for 8 months, 10 months. They get a dent in them. That might stay there. But all you got to do, go lay them out in the sun. If you go put them out when you go hunting, they'll start with dents, and as long as the sun's beating on them, they'll be pop back out in no time. Or you use a hair dryer up the back of them, and it pops right out. I mean, they're just. We're not claiming that we have we reinvented the decoy.
Right.
We are just making the decoy more affordable and
more
easier to
effective.
carry.
Yes.
Yeah, and they do have tail loops on. You said,
They
right?
do have tail
All
loops.
right, that's very important.
Yes.
That's very important to me now. Like, I do think that like the decoys from now on, if they have a stake system, if you're not putting loops on it, because I think I even saw GHG now. Their new ones have loops on them.
Everybody has tail loops.
You gotta have them now. You gotta have them. That's
Yeah,
just how it's gonna be.
But we appreciate having you on the show.
Absolutely, guys.
Having
Appreciate
you
it. Having me on my own show. Appreciate
us.
Yeah. No, but before we go, give everybody, how can they get a hold of you?
So we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, BB Waterfowl, or you can always go to bbwaterfowl.com and you can check us out.
Oh, I should do that right now. I'll forget. At least.
And the same with Jim Shoe
Facebook.
Decoys. JimShoeDecoys.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well.
Twitter? I don't even do that.
Well, we have a Twitter account. We don't update our Twitter account. # probably epic fail, but
We have a Twitter account, and I've never even logged into it.
yeah.
Boom. Liked. BBC.
Thank you.
Decoys.
So
Cool, guys.
check us out. Facebook,
Appreciate it.
Instagram.
Save you a pile
Go
of
out there
money,
and
whether
shoot
you're
some-
just getting
shoot
into
some
And
birds.
if you're looking for video reviews, we have a bunch of them on Facebook. We run them over with track goes, beat them with baseball bats, everything you can possibly imagine.
Sweet.
We do it
I'm
on
gonna check them out.
YouTube.
Yeah.
So they're
So,
And maybe you hinted at maybe my listeners might get a discount code. when
yeah.
they get
So
down.
if any of
Yes.
your listeners that listen to your podcast want a discount code through Jim Shoe, we'll give them 10% off. We'll make our code podcast.
There you go.
Put in podcast, you
Podcast
get 10%
and,
off.
promo
and-
code. And sweet. This will drop.
Same exact
This
way
coming
with
Thursday.
the BB Waterfowl.
So
We'll
just
do,
so you know. So when you guys.
Yeah, well, I'll get that code created tonight. Podcast gets you 10% off. I can get a dozen Canadians or.
I mean, I'm
$200
gonna go straight up, and we're gonna go full scale.
Oh,
Yes.
even better.
Oh,
Full
boy.
scale, promo scope, full
Full
scale.
scale.
Promo
He's going to do
code.
34%.
That might be a little
I'm not
steep.
gonna lie to you. I didn't say full scale because I couldn't remember what the name of the podcast was.
It's literally
So
on
we
my
will
hat.
do. We will
All
do.
right.
Literally right here.
We'll do it. We'll do a 10%
That's fine. I
off
don't remember
discount.
anybody's name, so I'm gonna have to
That's
rattle this
fine.
down just so I can put it in the details.
So we will do. We'll do a 10% off discount. Use promo code full scale bbwaterfowl.com.
Cool.
Convert your floaters
So
to
can
full
we
bodies.
do full scale on the
That's fine.
Jim
We'll do-
shoes?
we'll do
Because
full
that's
scale.
gonna be confusing if we have two different ones.
That's
for two
fine.
different
Full
projects.
scale.
So
Code-
Hashtag
code-
podcast nonsense. Blah blah.
Full scale. One word.
Hashtag Brandon
Awesome,
doesn't
guys.
make it home.
Appreciate it. Let's go.
Goodbye,
Let's go
Brandon.
get drunk and be somebody. The music's about to start.
Yeah, there we
plan.
go.
Do it.
Thanks
guys.
for having
you.
us.
Thank you.